You're kidding me. I've been talking this whole time with no sound. I'm not going to redo it because you know what? It's 2 minutes past the time I was going to start. So I just read Moby Dick with the sound off. I can't believe it. I didn't even look. I mean, I read a good chunk of it. So I guess what I'll say is I can either move on to reading Moby Dick. I telling you, I got wasted on the cunt stream last night, man. I just read a good chunk of chapter 3 about Ishmael going up to some unknown harpooner's bed right here and trying to crawl in it before he gets home, and then talked a little bit about the characters before I seen Zero Cool say I was muted. Turns out I don't need to have somebody in here to mute myself. I could do it myself just fine. I could just ramble on. It seems like I must have been rambling on for about 7 or 8 minutes. As long as y'all could see me on the screen, I was actually I was speaking. Oh, I tell you what, I love having a good time, and Schmeckel knows how to do it. So I did. I drank 5 beers last night in 5 minutes. I drank a lot more beer than that, but on the cunt stream, I let them witness a man going from 0 to drunk in about, 5-6 minutes. It was a lot of fun. I let my beard down. I can't let my hair down because I ain't got none, but I let my beard down and got a little crazy. But I love the cunt stream. They don't ever bust my balls about it. So I guess this is what I'm going to do. Y'all can hear me now. So if you want to hear that chunk of Melville right now, I'll read it again. It took me about 6-7 minutes to read. If you don't want to hear it right now, well, I'll read it again next Sunday. And anybody that wants to hear the increments of chapter 3 of Moby Dick can easily go back into archives and play them through. So I don't know. I feel a little dumb saying this, but I am a little dumb. So if you want me to read Moby Dick again, press 1. If you don't, push the F key. You know, the F key, like my shirt says right over here. Y'all see that right there? That's my Sunday service shirt, and I wear it sometimes on like the cunt stream. It was fun to have it on for a little bit, and I don't know if I'm just having a pisser of a day, I'll go ahead and put that baby on whenever I stream because it's kind of fun. It's a good time. So I'm going to do a little test over here just to make sure. I don't see anybody. Yeah, you said read through the chat. I'm gonna read through the chat. Yeah, he's on mute. I didn't, because the thing of it is, Sydney, is I was reading Moby Dick. I was reading chapter 3, so I couldn't see none of that. I actually had the thing over top where I keep the chat open, so I couldn't even see the chat, let alone read it. I consider myself average intelligence, but I can't read 2 things at once. I've tried. It's difficult. I know a guy that can write 2 things at the same time with both, write with both hands at the same time, different things. That's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. So, I got a lot of F's. I got a lot of F's. Let me count. Oh, there's no way. I know that I'm only going to count everybody as 1, but so let's see. Let me count them up. I'm going to count them up. We got 0 push 2. That means no. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. The F's have it. I'm just going to leave it at that. The F's have it. And I really appreciate the people that pressed 1. It's going to be fun to go through Moby Dick like that. But here's the facts of the matter. I'm doing it a lot for my own edification. I really love the story. I want some people to hear it and to get hooked on it. So what I'm going to do, this just made me decide it too. I tried it today, but I had myself muted because I'm such a freaking genius. I'm such a genius, man. I planned stuff out so thoroughly. But so what I'll do is I'll start on Sundays 10 minutes early. That way I can read a little bit of it, give a little commentary about the characters, and then bust right into the show proper without taking anything away from the folks that obviously, I mean, we got some G's coming on now. So Tigerson says Q. I think that's because I'm queer. And not queer like gay queer, but down south we say you're queer. And that means I'm a little strange. Because I'm a strange animal. That's what I know. I love that Crowder, that little thing he did. I'd never heard that song in my life. And then whenever I heard that, I actually have that on my playlist. I love that strange animal. It's very fitting for Crowder. Maybe not so fitting for me, but I guess I'm a strange animal. There's Conscious Caracal. I have just been like filling a little time, Caracal, till you got here. I'm hoping that Jeremy will show up pretty soon. Were you watching what I just did? It was
Yeah, no, I was watching, man.
Oopsie. That's what happens when nobody's in here with me. I just had myself muted and left it muted. I've read I read about at least 7-8 minutes of Moby Dick, and then pontificated about the characters like a moron. Nobody could hear a word I said. Oh, he'll be with us in a second. I'm sure Caracle's just getting his stuff around. We're kind of I stopped smoking 2 days ago. So if I cough a little bit, I'm sorry. But right now, everything tastes like a cigar, because that's what I smoke when I smoke. And I mean, not a good cigar, like puffing on them. I've been inhaling them. And everything tastes like that. And man, sometimes when I breathe deep, even I got a cough. So if I do that a little bit, I'll try to hit my mute button. But nothing I can do. And I don't want to die of lung cancer if I can help it.
Oh man, I'm a smoker as well. I always have that monkey on my back, or on my shoulder, I guess. But I always argue, biologically it's not healthy, but psychologically it's healthy for me. It helps me keep sane. A little habit, even though it's bad.
Well, and also, like Cabbage Patch would point out, Cabbage smokes. I wish I could remember the kind of tobacco, but he gets tobacco at a tobacconist. Loose tobacco, all natural, and then he rolls it in hemp papers. All natural. So I'm just going to say
I also roll mine in hemp papers, my rollies.
Well, and that there was no big incidence of lung cancer before the 20s and 30s is when it started breaking out. People smoked, but they didn't smoke this radioactive garbage that they put in a Marlboro or a Winston or some such horse dung.
Okay, yeah, no. I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, but then I quit, and now I'm just smoking rollies, because at least I know what I put in my rollie. With a cigarette, you don't know what other shit is in there, pine needles and fucking who knows. The other test I always do is, if you put a cigarette that you rolled outside, within a few hours it's stale and you can't really enjoy it anymore. But if you leave a cigarette outside, a week later you can still smoke that thing. Nothing's wrong with it.
Oh yeah, that's a problem. That's just like McDonald's hamburgers won't decay, and some people are like, oh well, why is that a big deal? Well, your body makes stuff rot to process it. If something's got that much preservative in it, you don't want to use it. And I've got to agree with Sir Sidney Rough Diamond. We don't hear nearly enough about the benefits of smoking, because there's a health risk involved.
Yeah, I also smoke rollies, Sydney.
Yeah. And there are benefits. You were just mentioning probably the greatest one, because after a hard day's work, if you have a good cigarette, not these factory made garbage, and you roll yourself a nice Dogan right here, and you go through the process, and you're looking at the sunset, and you have yourself a nice beer or a glass of brandy or something. There's a lot to be said for that nice relaxing sensation that you get.
Yeah, definitely. It's the same effect with having a beer after a long day's work. It's very satisfying psychologically, because you attach that relaxation and that value to that activity. So it's more the activity than the substance itself that gives you that relaxation, that peace of mind. And we all have our little habits, and moderation is key. And I think that's, as long as you know that you're in control, and if a day comes that you need to quit, you can, then you're pretty much in control. Then you don't have too much to worry about. We all do it.
Well, stop smoking isn't the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, but I've found something, Caracal. Saying that, I'm hooked on it, or I can't do something, is one of two things. It's either a person that doesn't want to quit, just saying, look, leave me alone. I like my smoking. And that's the way to do it now, because who is hectored more in our society than a smoker? I mean, you could look at some big fat ass over here stuffing a doggone quarter pounder with cheese in their cake hole with the greasy palm of their fat hand. And nobody says word one to this fatty. Everybody walk by and, oh yeah, you fat ass. We can't fat shame you. And then you got some guy over here in really relative good health. He's just enjoying a cigarette.
Yeah,
and of course, everybody's giving him the old stink eye.
To me, there's absolutely no difference between the guy that's smoking and has a lot higher chance of getting lung cancer than the guy that gets 2 cheeseburgers every day after work and has a higher chance of getting becoming morbidly obese. So anything that you don't use in moderation can lead to health implications. But if you can responsibly use something, some substances are of course more harmful than others, but we all have little bad habits, and I don't think you should shame someone if, as long as they're not under the impression that what they're doing is healthy. I mean, fuck, I'm a smoker, but I know it's unhealthy, and that's okay.
Well, right.
What are you gonna say?
No, I want to hear you out.
Oh yeah, no. So a person that is overweight, but they're fine with that fact, that's okay. Like, but don't come to me and tell me, nah, smoking is completely healthy, there's nothing wrong. Or come to me and say, no, there's nothing wrong with obesity, there's no connection between obesity and health problems. Then get out of here, man.
Well, and I try to imagine sometimes, Carol, being in South Africa, you know, let's say 100 years ago, and I'm at some little oasis somewhere enjoying a pint, and I'm there with my mate, and my mate's got a cigarette. I'm trying to imagine somebody can, now mind you, 100 years ago, it's 1917, and some bloke comes in there and says, hey mate, what you doing smoking that? Don't you know it'll kill you? I imagine whoever was smoking would throw him in the street.
Yeah, man.
But boy, things have changed now. I guess it's everybody's right to get in our business. I would say though, as far as stopping and not stopping smoking, that's what it is. I'm hooked. It either means, hey, listen, I enjoy what I do, leave me alone, or it is the bastion of folks that are weak-willed. In other words, if you really want to quit and you can't quit smoking, I don't even buy that. People that want to quit.
You can take marijuana as a good example. For example, you can get addicted to marijuana, but it's not physically addicting, it's psychologically addicting. So if you start using it as an escape from your reality and you start realizing that you can't function, you can't be happy without marijuana, then you're addicted to it, but psychologically. For example, heroin is physically addicting, which means it's not so much a psychological addiction. It's more just the dopamine that you're experiencing. It's the feeling. Your body needs it. That's why you get withdrawal symptoms. And that's why weed doesn't really have withdrawal symptoms, because it's not physically addicting. It's psychologically addicting. So anything, any substance, I mean, nicotine as well, it can also become psychologically addicting, where you can't unwind and you can't relax without having a cigarette, and then you have a problem. You need to be able to relax and function without your little bad habit. So it's all about self-control and about moderation and knowing your limits and knowing what you're doing and putting into your body.
That's the biggest thing. It's about being able to function without your little habits. That was more profound than I think maybe you knew. I would tell you, people that get up, because I'm going to smoke a little grass now, but people that get up in the morning and can't go to work because they don't have weed, they might as well just lay down and die. If you can't deal with the desire to smoke a non-addictive thing, like you said, psychological, if you can't deal with that, you're not gonna, you can't even hold a job in that case.
Yeah, I mean, taking a nap every day at 2 o'clock is also psychologically addicting, and it has the same the same logic behind it why people do it. And that's why I'm constantly using this term of that. As long as you know that we all have little escapes that we use, and as long as you know that your escape can hurt you if you don't use it in moderation, then I think you're pretty safe, as long as you're honest with yourself. As long as you know what you're putting into your body. And that's why I don't like smoking cigarettes anymore. That's why I roll my rollies. It's because then I know, okay, it's only tobacco. I can see it's only tobacco. It's a little bit better. It's like the lesser of two evils.
Well, when I was young, I sucker topped tobacco, and you know, you get high when you do that, whether you like it or not, unless you suit up completely. But I'm gonna tell you what, man, when I was a very young boy, we would take the leaves just right out of the hanging shed, and boy, oh boy, I mean, if you've never done that, especially with what they grew in Kentucky, it's called burley. And I know burley makes you think of big, but the burley plants only get to be about maybe 3.5, 4 feet tall, whereas a golden leaf like the tobacco they grow in North Carolina, that gets 7, 8 feet tall. Anyway, we would take those leaves and roll them up in a green shuck. In other words, a corn leaf. And holy crap, Carol! The first time I did it, I vomited and felt so dizzy. But I don't know how else to say it, but I did like it. I mean, it was like, okay, I Ralph, but boy, oh boy, am I high. Anyway, I guess I don't know how much longer we're going to talk about tobacco. I sent it out to MC. The funny thing is MC battles cancer. That's what he does. That's what he does for a living at this point. He tries his best to come up with new and better ways to treat people that are, in all honesty, past the point of normal treatment. I mean, they're, stage 4, stage 5 cancer. I don't even know if is there stage 5, whatever it is. And so maybe we'll have him on, but I think it's kind of funny if what I'd like him to talk a little bit about today after we speak a little bit about France and stuff is absolutely, he sent me a little thing and said I could show it where he's mapped the cancer inside of somebody with a computer. You can see the tumor in there, and he's going to release this cloud of, oh my gracious, I can't remember what it's called now. It's radiation in any case. And that cloud of radiation should be centralized pretty much to the area of that tumor, hurting as little tissue around that tumor as possible. And I tell you, I don't want to ramble too much about it, Carrico, but the problem I have is that what he does is give people a little bit more time. And he gets bashed for it. He's always people are always going to say, well, you're giving radiation to, yeah, I'm giving radiation to people that are going to die. There's no question about it. There is no other alternative. They got one foot in the grave, the other in a banana peel. At that point, Carrico, if it was me, do anything you can. And look at that, just like the devil. I mentioned his name and up he popped. How you doing, MC?
You summoned him.
Were you here for the muted debacle? I had myself muted for like 6 minutes. I'm sure everybody was glad because I was reading Melville.
Actually, I missed that. So that's too bad.
No, it's great. Well, I actually started a little early so that I could read Moby Dick before the show proper, but apparently I didn't read anything but to myself. How's it going, big guy? I appreciate you having a drink with me last night on the Cunt stream.
No problem. How are you doing?
I did drink 5 beers in 5 minutes and then consumed about another 8 on this stream. So that comes up to 8. That comes up to 13 beers in an hour and a half. I feel a little weak right now.
A little tired, are you?
Yeah, my heart feels like it's pumping concrete.
How you doing, Carrico?
I'm fine, man. Things are pretty relaxed in my part of the world, so no big news at the moment. But all my attention is on the French election at the moment. It's going to be pretty close, but don't think Le Pen's going to make it.
Yeah,
Macron's going to win by hook or by crook.
Yeah, well, I got some stuff queued up here, boys, because it looks like it might be partially by crook. And also somebody that's on the show is, man, I don't even know what I can say. There's someone that I know that will have.
Leave it, man. Just let him tell us.
Right. In fact, I just
let Jeremy tell us.
Yeah. So
man, you can go on that tangent. I just think leave Jeremy till later.
Yeah,
till he's on.
I agree. In fact, I don't know if y'all just want to leave France until, because I'm not sure when he's going to be here. I know he's busy.
Let's leave France till we have a bit bigger panel.
Well, does anybody know when their polls actually closed?
I'll look that up right now.
I actually have no idea. MC, do you have any news stories that you want to talk about while we postpone the French election?
Well, I know this is kind of like an old hat kind of thing, but it seems to me
we don't really have anything, so you go for it. Throw in the ring.
It seems to me as if YouTube is going out of its way just to flag anybody for anything and everything if somebody complains.
Yeah, but that's the part of their ongoing initiative to turn YouTube into television. They want to make it family friendly and they want to make it the new cable television. That's why they're so friendly towards all the cable networks. That's why they're on their trending page. It's mostly just Jimmy Kimmel, all the TV shows uploading videos. So they're making it a very friendly environment for those cable network personalities to transition over into YouTube, effectively turning YouTube into the new television.
So basically, you think that they're just trying to turn these into celebrities and then basically go back to celebrity
exactly.
content.
It's gonna turn into talk shows. Next thing we're gonna see is they're gonna experiment with uploading episodes to YouTube, all while also broadcasting on television. and then they're going to probably transition to and see how good that goes, and then they'll consider transitioning all the way over to the internet.
What are they expecting from ad revenue then? How are they going to change? Because they're going to have to change how they're doing ad revenue. Then their whole process
Here's
for
the
ad
thing,
revenue
though.
is totally different than that.
The incredible thing about online ads is that those advertisers can effectively choose where their products are advertised. When they advertise on cable television, it's between like breaks, but they have no control of like the type of viewer. But now online, they can, especially before, for example, Coke can say, but they want to target specifically videos with sport or whatever, because they want to tap the sport market, whatever. So it's more niche. They can more actually, sports a pretty bad example, but it's more like they can more effectively focus in on smaller parts of the market to advertise their good.
Well,
and
yeah. You think they're going to try and focus on smaller parts of the market to try and increase market share that way?
The interesting thing is they can effectively wait, lost my train of thought. It'll be back right now. Oh yeah, no. The thing is, in cable television, when you pay for an ad, you pay for that ad to show on a certain channel. But then you have no control of how many people buy your product or check out your product due to that ad. But in online advertising, they only have to pay for the amount of clicks their ad gets. So if you advertise on a video and it has 1 million views, but only 200 people clicked on your ad, you only have to pay for that 200 people. On cable network, you pay for those 2 million views regardless of interaction. So that's the attractive thing for advertisers on the internet.
Well, I don't see marketing going that way. Especially, I don't. Marketing, I'm not sure. When you have a market, when you got a product, okay, there's two possibilities basically. Either it's an emerging market, in which case it's a product that is becoming more common. All right, so people are buying the product, whether you were first to the market or not. If more people are buying that product, let's say like a computer, like a personal computer. But in the 1980s, personal computer markets was a growth market. People were buying computers. Okay, nowadays computers are basically a saturation market. Everybody has a computer. Now it's a matter of, okay, when they replace it, what are they going with? What are the reasons they're going to go with this computer over that computer, etc. Right? And it's a different style in marketing. And so in order for you to increase your market share in a mature market, or a market that's more or less saturated, you have to be better than the other guy. You've got to offer something better than the other guy. Obviously, the most obvious thing is to reduce prices, in which case you're cheaper than the other guys, so that makes your product more attractive, etc. Right? New features, extra features, things like that. When you're trying to do advertising, it kind of goes in the same way, all right? Where, okay, we've got so many people watching our advertisements, we're getting so much revenue generated as a result of this, okay? So the goal for advertising is always, how can I increase the number of people to view my products, right? So if you end up focused too much on a niche market, what ends up happening is you become a niche product maker. And then, just like Silicon Graphics, even though they made computers, they were basically a graphics.
Yeah, but I don't think I articulated that point then well enough. It's not that they're going to focus all their resources on the niche markets. They want to incorporate those niche markets into their overall larger market. Because by just advertising blanket style, you don't really you don't focus on those little niches within the market. And to utilize those and to incorporate them into the bigger scheme, you need to go to the media that they're consuming specifically.
Well, but then you need a larger marketing department, actually, in a lot of ways, because they're going to have to understand the niche market that they're trying to attract.
That's probably the direction that they'll have to go, but we'll have to see. I haven't seen any indications. I don't have enough information on if that's their intention. Things going.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's a matter of wait and see whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Hey, Zero, how's it going, man?
Yeah, and I'm here. I'm just listening to y'all, usually Bulldog. And I think the news is in the chat, so everybody knows Zero. He's going to say hi.
Yeah. I'm wasted.
Thought you'd party with the Prince of Queens last night, did you?
Oh, Jesus. That fucking kid. Very nice kid. Very nice young man. Very hospitable, but goddamn. They went like 6 hours on a live stream. I only made it to about 4 hours and 37 minutes, and I was just like, fuck this, I gotta go to bed.
He's a monster, dude. that boy, he's one of the boys
it's
that
like
can drink me under the
France
table.
is officially done for on a very pessimistic note. But we'll see. This is not the end, but I think this is a pretty big development for the trajectory of their future.
What, France?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I was gonna say they're fucked. It's over. Because unlike the American political system, at least they can count over there. I'm not kidding. They can project 65 for Macron, and odds are there'll be an error within 2% above or less. So unless a severe act of God happens to where they find some mass tampering and Le Pen gets in, they're done. They're going the way of Germany. And you're going to have to start feeling sorry for the UK, for, London and freaking Poland, because they're going to be outgunned and almost outrun. Poland ain't putting up with that
But the thing is, I think the UK can just have a big sigh of relief that they got out just in time.
By
like the skin of their ass.
I got a few friends that I talked to. Jeremy, man, he's been giving me updates there.
Yeah.
And he's just, he's not saying one way or the other, but he was doing the.
Oh, we lost Zero.
Yeah, that wasn't me. Zero, you there?
No, that was me. I swiped my hand across the board. So I was talking to Jeremy. He left me messages saying that basically he's helping set up a booth and everything and polls and whatnot. He said it's mass chaos, but not like the terrorist kind. It's just it's like really running like if you're running out for provisions and you're being invaded by the Nazi army kind of panic and chaos. So apparently, and I'm not saying anything about him. I don't know who's voting over there and why, but they got a bunch of fucking retards over there. I mean, you can't if you can't see that, when Sargon and Styx and Tree and ABL, all these people that I watch are basically, and then Tree's like Le Pen's going to lose, and I'm probably going to lose the bet with her and have to buy her something off of her wish list, which, yeah, fine, I'll do it because I'm a man of my word. But, when I got all these people saying it should be this and it's probably going to be this, and on ABL last night we didn't really talk about it much, but a lot of people are like, yeah, if Le Pen doesn't win, France is done. It's like, I don't know how fucking, Styx called it straight out that the guy is whatever the guy he's going to replace Light, like a Light version.
He was endorsed by, I can't remember the name as well, but yeah, he is basically the same person. And did you see that picture of him fucking groveling in front of Merkel?
Groveling in front of Merkel's feet of all things. Is that not a dead giveaway that France is fucked?
It's like satire. It looks like a fucking cartoon that someone drew. It can't be real.
No, it's real. It's about as real as when President Trump was sitting next to Obama and Obama wanted to shake his hand and Trump's like, fuck you, bitch.
Man, I'll go ahead and finish. I got to say something real quick, Zero, and then I'm flabbergasted. Hard Bastard is a collaborator with me for a long time. We still work together, but we're working on something that's going to come out. I can't even say much about it. That's why I don't say anything, because everybody knows me. I'll run my mouth, and Zero will have to mute me. So Hard Bastard had a strike because he stuck up for H.A. Goodman, one of my heroes. Another one of the reasons I'm doing this is Mr. Goodman. And I don't know what any of us could do. But if someone knows what we could do to help out Hard Bastard, I'm going to let the boys get back on topic. I'm sure they know where they were at. But if someone knows what I can do, please let me know.
A strike for what?
Well, I'm going to look into it. I'm actually going to get in contact with Bastard.
Well, that's the problem with YouTube is they say, okay, you got a community strike because you violated our guidelines. Okay, what did I do wrong? They never tell you.
I've had
No,
I've
I've had
written
strikes.
complaints. I've reported videos, and I've basically said this is why this video shouldn't be here, in my opinion, and I've told them exactly why. So if somebody says, "Oh, you got a strike against me," fuck you, and I'm like, "Yeah," and I'll tell you why I did, because you blah 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 blah. I don't bullshit and chicken out. I say, I reported a video the other day that was very disrespectful to women overall, and I said, this is not what this is about. This, and you should remove it. And they contact me, well, it's not a violation of our guidelines. I said, oh, so degrading women to the point of subservitude in basically calling them names
It's
and
fine in your guidelines.
so it shows you how fuck-faced their morals are. And I can tell YouTube to fuck off and bite me because they can't do anything but remove my channel, in which I'll make another one. So
no, exactly.
You may want
I've also
to
had some of my-
Yeah, but when we think about Bastard, though, because look, man, I'd have to look, but somebody just said they subbed to me. So I imagine I've got somewhere around 710, 720 subs and kind of worked hard for
750.
them. I've got 160 videos up. A lot of them I couldn't possibly reproduce because they're what we're doing now. It would break my heart a wee bit if I had to start over. The Bastard's got fucking 22,000 subs.
Yeah, somebody just is pinpointing him for target. That's all there is.
Yep, they're already
fucking with
it, man.
Fucking assholes.
It's probably partly because he says fuck the MSM at the end of his thing, and it says, fuck censorship, stop the MSM.
Hey, that's the exact same video that I got a strike on. I made a video that said basically, fuck YouTube, you're censoring a certain person that I like their videos of, and you on absolutely no solid grounds. And that video got a strike. And I appealed it, and a day later I was like, "Oh, sorry, we could find nothing wrong with this video. Our bad."
Well, okay,
No,
so
yeah,
what-
you took a chance.
Then the question begins at that point. Okay, and this has obviously happened to a number of content creators. The question then becomes, who are they hiring that's doing the initial striking? Because it's quite obvious that that person is costing them time, money, and effort to strike things that are constantly being overturned.
Yeah, they're bitching about getting ad dollars and revenue, yet they're hiring these fucking kids that are like, "Oh, that's a strike, that's a strike." And it's like, "Hey, dumb shit, you're biting the hand that feeds. Don't mess with the bread and butter." There's probably some idiot who got hired because of the acts of nepotism and cronyism, and he knows somebody, or somebody's his mommy or daddy.
Always like a diversity quota.
So, no, I don't know. That could be, but when we hire we have diversity hires in my job all the time, and when everybody comes in, we don't, we've had people that are black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever, and we've had a few Muslims in my job area in Iowa City where I go to work, and everybody behaves. We're there for the sole
but I mean,
purpose
it wasn't chosen
of
on
money
merit.
and
Maybe
do
that's the reason.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just, like I said, I'm severely wasted, and I can't really process a coherent thought. I didn't drink. I was just up really late. The 4:30 Central Time in the morning is late for me. I'm usually in bed by 2 at most. But if we were rolling. Prince of Queens was having a great live stream, and he says, well, he's basically started out on Twitter, I can't get the gaming stuff to go on. Anybody just want to do a live stream? So I said, hey, can I jump? And he says, yeah, sure, why not? And then it's just like, okay, 5.5 hours later. Oh, Jesus.
Well, as long as you had fun, dude.
Oh, I had a great time. We were talking about stuff that wasn't politics. and I narked on you, Ogre. I just said, I love being on Ogre's live stream, but sometimes those guys just wear me down. He's like, yeah, and I said, yeah, I'm just not built for the political mentality. I'm just a pansy. And he's like, oh well, it happens. Yeah, I said, I have no metal.
You and me both. That's why I don't know if Beard Baron, he just got back from camping, but I mean, I'll say this though. We have folks like Conscious Caracal. He's a conscious caracal. I mean, these things, I imagine that he's out farming the land with his hands and stuff and thinking about the world and how he could make it a better place. Me, when I'm out plowing, I'm trying not to think about that shit. But I get worn down by it.
You're
but
pretty accurate with that description and that assumption.
I go to the gym, and the last thing on my mind is you guys, thankfully. I'm more worried about what's on my playlist.
Yeah, and well, you see, we're a lot like that way, Zero, but I'll say this, humbly, I'll say this. That's why folks like you and I have to spend a little bit of time about it. because we're not always looking at it, and maybe our ideas will be just a little bit different. But yeah, I'm with you, man. That Sunday is a news day. If you notice, I've been muted a lot because MC's here, Caracal's here. This is more or less their show on Sunday. If Cabbage Patch Bastard wasn't working himself to death, he'd be here, and then I could just listen because, you know, that's what I do.
I
And this
know.
stuff
I
listen.
sent you a message that says, "Man, do not put me in this. I am wasting." You're like, "Here's the link." I'm like, "Shit."
Oh, sorry, bro. I'd link it out to so many people. Now I'm going to have to go back and look at that. I'm so sorry. But I just, and Tigerson's asking. Yes, Tigerson. See what I mean? I go back to look at this and I realize I sent it to people that were like, fuck off, I'm busy today. And then I didn't send it to people that want to come on. Sorry.
So I'm not complaining. It's just I really got my, there was like one other person in Prince of Queens chat. I think she was about our age, Ogre, and she just had so much more energy than me. And that my wife is asleep right now because she works nights shifts and everything. And today's my day off. Of course, with my daughter being out of the house, adults, we don't have to worry about kids waking us up no matter which age. But these people. My point is, the guys that I was, with the exception of Pat, who was on there, nice guy. He's the only one who has kids. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I feel your pain." It's like, yeah, you other guys, you don't have kids, and if you do, you don't tell us because I have all this energy. I'm wiped out. My kid's been out of the house for 5 years, but I'm still tired. Shit. Oh, man, I'll tell you. It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just.
Well, I know you enjoy it, but you've really broke on the scene. You've came from nowhere, and now I see you everywhere, dude. You're prolific now. So it's a lot to do. It really is.
Well, I put a side note here that I put in the, for all you guys that do have your own chat streams. If you ever run across somebody named Carrot that says they know me from Tree of Logic, yes, he does know me. He's funny as fuck, but do not give him a wrench. He is just a wrench collector and a goofball.
Okay, I saw that on ABL last night. I was watching.
He's not a bad kid, but he's just a fucking goofball. And he loves to troll for fun. He's a good troller. He's just a goofball, though. Very lovable. So we make fun of him, and he can roll with it. But
yeah, I was watching
it.
And you and Hillbilly, Swamp Hillbilly or whatever, I can't remember the name. You're two of the best mods that I've ever seen.
Yeah, Hillbilly, Swamp. We were bitch slapping everybody because ABL basically said, "Look, it's this is how the stream runs. It's none of this, none of this, none of this." And everybody's like coming in saying all this stuff like, "Nope, you're gone. Nope, you're gone. Nope, you're gone. Ban, ban, ban." They just don't get it that Anthony Brian Logan makes money off of this, and he does, and of course he has his own job and he loves doing this. So when you're asked to mod for somebody who wants to keep it professional like him, as opposed to a little more loose like us, follow the rules that are laid down. Show respect to the host and your fellow guests, and especially the callers. That's what pisses me off the most. Somebody comes on and engages with an intellectual conversation with him, and I get people in that chat room that are like, "Yeah, shut the fuck up. You know what you're talking about." It's like, nope, you be quiet. You be quiet. You be quiet. Respect the caller. You're done. You're done. You're done. Ban, ban, ban. And I hate banning people, but
man, you got to do what you got to do. Like you said, because listen, Zero, I'm going to get a drop phone. I knew that he did that. I've watched his show for years, and he's had the call in now that I know of for at least a year. And so I've thought about it. I'm going to go get a little $20 flip drop phone from Verizon Wire, whatever, Virgin Wire, whatever they got at Meyer. And I'm going to do that. But the days that I do that, when people are calling in, I really need you and Beard Baron and Conscious Caracal, at least one of y'all, probably MC, whoever would be willing that's got a brain to, that's the days where we'll have to watch that, man. And, people can't just be coming in and kecking it up, with all due respect to Keck. Praise Keck.
Yeah, I'll be there. But if my work schedule changes, which it may relatively soon, where I'll be gone for most nights from 6 p.m. till 4 a.m. in the morning out of town, then you're on your own.
All right, it's my 40-minute break. I'll be back in like 3 or 4 minutes. You boys are doing great without me anyway.
Awesome. Cheers, man. Enjoy.
Hey, Tigerson. About time you got here, you jackhat.
Oh, sorry.
He was in the chat. I mean,
he's
you blame him.
Let me in. We're knocking on the door. Let me in. No.
I was there for the muted Moby Dick. And then
that was the best part, wasn't it?
And then MC just cuts the cues and gets it
I
first.
saved that.
Yeah, I was whining earlier. So
that was still the best part because I didn't even pay attention. I was off doing something else, and I come back and I thought I had my volume down, and everybody's like, I can't hear you. And I'm like, oh, Ogre, we can't hear. And he goes, oh, you guys can't hear me? Well, I'm not rereading this thing. And I was thinking, apparently the best reading of Moby Dick ever.
I felt so sorry for him when to the point where he was about to, find out. I felt really sorry for him because, he always put so much passion into the Moby Dick, and it was always
you're carrying this overflowing.
Well, if we were smart, we would have egged him on to keep going, and who knows how long it would have been until he realized his mic was off. But no, we had to be the nice guys and say, dude, your mic's off, huh? Oh, shit. So,
Too nice.
No, we are. One of these days, I think, and since he's probably going to hear this anyway, one of these days in the far, far future, which may not be as far as he thinks, we should probably all come on and mute our mics on our computers. So he's talking, we can't hear him, so we'll say we can't hear you, and then he'll start turning his mic up when it's already on.
You're kind of a devious bastard, aren't you?
I'm an asshole. Yes, I am.
We'd have to get everyone in the chat in on the joke.
Yes, we would. That would be the real trick.
If just one naysayer comes into the chat, then the whole thing's ruined, and that's going to be difficult.
If we can find out who they are ahead of time, we'll block them or put them in timeout constantly.
Block anyone who's
no,
a naysayer.
just put them in the corner. Fuck that. We're not gonna. It's never fun to block somebody because unless they really deserve it. Like when I'm on Tree of Logic, she's a little more loose about stuff, and she does let things fly. And one guy basically got on my case last week, and she told him off and said, hey, this is how it runs again last warning. But with ABL, as I've said, he's very professional. And the only time you should have to ban somebody is if they really do not have the common sense or respect for the host or the chat room or the guest callers. We had people saying, I'm just going to refrain from saying it. I'll say it in a different context. Uncle Tom, the N-word, and other type things. And they were trolling. They weren't talking to ABL or anybody else, but that's the kind of trolling that gets him in trouble. And it's like you say it once, put you into timeout, depending on what it is. And if it's really hardcore racist or derogatory towards anybody, you're gone. We don't give a shit.
And I noticed Carrot, since you mentioned him, I noticed Carrot, somebody deleted a couple of his things because he was trying to be crafty with that. And let's face it, when you're Anthony Brian Logan, man, you can't, you got enough flack already, and then you don't need that shit.
Yeah. Like I said, Carrot's a good kid and he's fun, but he's just a wrench collector. And he's like, maybe if I, do this, he's trolling, of course. Oh, get Tree or ABL to give me a wrench. And we're like, no, it's not going to happen. Get over it. But of course, we do get revenge on him. We start calling him an underage trap.
I just learned what a trap was last night. I thought it meant trap music. And I found out it's a dude that looks like a girl.
That is why there is the meme out there of Admiral Akbar from Star Wars saying, it's a trap. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I'm just getting it. I'm always slow on the uptake about that stuff, but I tell you, it's
Are you into trap
you know
music,
what?
Hogan?
So I just will say it. I was gonna play a game, and if Jeremy don't get here pretty soon, MC, we're gonna play. I'm stealing it, the name even from Crowder. We're gonna play Spot the Tranny. So I will pull up some pictures of some folks, some human beings, and we'll try to decide if they were born with a penis or a vagina.
Oh God.
Are you into
politics, man?
Are you into trap music, Ogre?
Hell yeah, Blair White's gonna be on tomorrow, man. I love her. I would kiss her.
Into trap
with my
music?
tongue, if she let me. Consent, of course.
He didn't ask if you were in a traps. He asked if you were in a trap music.
Trap music.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
love trap music. I love trap.
Blair White is
I was wondering why
Blair
you
White
talking
is
about
not
Blair White.
considered. Blair White is not a trap by technical definition.
Okay.
Why is that? Just out of curiosity.
Well, Blair White is a trans person. She's even said so. And everybody knows it. A trap is basically somebody like if they're a teenage boy who likes to cross-dress and be feminized. That's what a trap is, and plays off as being a woman to get other men to have consensual sex with them. That's what a trap is. And the only reason I know this shit is because my daughter is a member of the LGBT, and she tells me weird shit that I don't want to know all the time. And it's like, well, good to know. I'll try not to do that.
So in other
that's-
words,
that's-
so what do they do then, man? I don't want to get terribly graphic, but so in other words, the trap would be like, oh, hit the back door because of something,
Yeah,
and
pretty
then
much.
tries to hide the genitals, or actually comes
Yep.
out after it's hot and heavy
Oh,
and
yeah.
says, I'm a dude, let's do it anyway.
Yeah, both parts from what my daughter tells me. And that's why I said Blair White is not a trap. And she doesn't and Blair White identifies as a female, and most everybody accepts that, and we know Blair White is just Blair White, and we love her as who she is. And people call her that shit all the time on a goof. It just flies over her head. God bless her.
Well, I'll
she
tell you
knows
the
when
truth too.
people
When I sent her
Yeah.
that picture and she followed me, and I'm assuming she never said she was attracted to me or that I was good looking or anything, but
That's
the
your
thought
ego,
of
buddy.
it did make my heart flutter a little bit. That's why I consider Blair a female. She even says something, you know, in a video. I marathoned about 30 of her videos so that I'd have something to talk, and I'd know a base. I'd watched a few of them, but not as many as I just have in the last week. But she comes right out and says, if you have to tell people about your pronouns, you are a terrible tranny.
Exactly.
Because if somebody questions, I mean, if I met Blair White in the pub where I go at, where most of the girls look like they've been in a fight with Bubba Ganache right here, I mean, I would be like, oh, who's it? You know, the first thing I'd be like would be nudging my friends where she couldn't see it, being like, hey man, look at you see what just walked in this joint? Holy fuck. And then I would be the guy, I am usually the guy too, that would be the first one over there saying, hey young lady, how you doing? Welcome to our little shithole. Can I buy you a drink? Because I would never ever assume that was a dude, man. That's no problems with the pronouns is what I said in a long way. I would call her ma'am. I even sent her a little message letting her know, because everybody busts my balls. I'm an old school hillbilly from Louisville, Kentucky. If I don't call a girl from the age of 14 to 140 ma'am or Mrs. whatever, even if it's their first name, like Miss Blair or Miss White, I can still feel my mom smacking me right in the mouth. It's like, it's classical conditioning is what she did. Bandera, you know, she classically conditioned my ass to where I have to do it. So I did send her a little thing and was like, which I tell often girls that are come on for the first time anyway. I said, look, I'm not pandering. Don't do me like the honey badgers did. Don't call me gynocentric, please, because I'm not.
That
I
wasn't
just
them,
find
just
it
the
as a
listeners.
form of respect, Zero. You know, if I met your mom, I'm not going to call her Jan or whatever her name is. I'm going to call her Mrs. Zero, because
Yeah,
that's
I get on my nephew's case for calling my parents by their first names. I'm like, what did you just say? And they'll say my parents' name and said, no, that's grandma and grandpa to you, buddy. And he's like, okay, you know, this is the big military boy who knows better. So I love him, but it's like, no, that's your grandma and grandpa. You can call them grandma whatever and grandpa whatever. You do not say their first names by themselves. And my parents are like, no, it's okay. And I go, no, it's not. They're like, you need to relax. I said, no, I don't. Because I knew every person. I knew every person's name. I know every person's name. I knew every person's name has been in my life and my family from the time I was born till they died, and is still in my life. And they do not get treated with disrespect. I never called my grandma her first name. Never called my grandparents their first name. My aunt, I say my aunt or my uncle and then their name. And with my nephew and his wife, I don't call his wife by his first name because for me it's weird. I say Mrs. blah, blah, blah. And she goes, no, it's okay. You can call me blah. And I said, okay. And she knows this is how I think. But then my nephew's like, well, what do you call her that for? And she turns around and says, well, because unlike you, his parents actually raised him with some common sense, you billy goat. And I'm like, so.
Yeah, there is a what I would consider a lack of respect for people, maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't say lack of respect. There's too close a familiarity, which then leads to disrespect later on.
Yeah.
Because
but
people
also,
become they stop looking at them as an elderly person or someone that should be deserving respect for a variety of reasons, right? And they start look at them as, well, he's just like a friend of mine. And that's one thing that you really shouldn't be doing. You should keep that in mind that, look, there are people in this world that you owe your respect to. There are people I can remember from basic training that I'll always give respect to, all right, regardless of whether or not, you know, I meet them in the civilian life and how I meet them in civilian life, all right?
Yeah.
Because they've earned that respect, or they should have earned that respect for who they are and how they've lived their lives, Now, I'm not saying that everyone's perfect and that there aren't some bad parents out there or bad grandparents. That's not what I'm saying. But then again, you shouldn't be hanging around those guys if they're bad people anyway, when you think about it. Now, family is family. I understand that. But
Yeah,
anyway, that's my rambling for now.
Yeah, he just knows. My nephews all know better. And the youngest one, the one that was the dipshit who got busted for selling drugs, actually calls his grandparents by their appropriate title. And I said, well, that's the one thing you got right. Now, me personally, if I go into a store and the person doesn't know me and they say, thank you for shopping here, sir, and I'd be like, yeah, you don't have to call me sir, but you're welcome. It's oftentimes because they're a new person, and I go into the store that I've gone to, everybody knows me by my first name, like Norm from Cheers. And so, and I get that at the YMCA too, but it's like I'm there, with the exceptions of Saturdays and Sundays, because I work out 5 days a week, everybody knows me. So everybody, and that's one of the things that it's okay to be familiar on a certain level. Because that's a community, that's more like a family type setting, But then again, I'm also the type that we have some folks that work there at the Y. They get called respectively by Mr. or Ms. or Ma'am, and they're like, "No, you can call me that." It's like, "No, you're a staff member here. You are somebody who's old enough to be my grandparent or my father. This is the respect you've earned." And then they're like, "Oh, okay." So it's kind of contradictory and a catch-22 in a way, but it's more the familial thing. It's more the family thing as to where we treat them like our elders and respect them for who they are. So I don't know what to tell you.
It's a polite thing too. There's nothing wrong with being polite, and that's one thing in our society it seems that's totally missing is people.
Well, sorry, I just had the cough.
People have gotten away from being polite with one another, and that's led to be honest, the crap that you're seeing in Berkeley. I mean, you have to learn to respect other people as human beings before you can actually have a conversation with them. Because if you don't respect them, you're not really going to listen to them anyway.
I think my biggest problem, MC, is when I go to the convenience store that's about 6 blocks away from my house, and everybody knows everybody there, and of course the folks have to wear their name tags, and we call them by their name. That's one thing. And they know they're regulars. So they'll say, oh, hey, Zero, and they'll say my real name, whatever. It's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get the customers that come in, and they're usually in the younger generation. I'm not saying they're Generation Z. I'm saying that they're really millennials and closer to the beginning of Generation Z. They'll come in, and they will just be foul-mouthed, obnoxious little jerks. And they'll just say, yo, bitch, get me this. And I go, what did you just say? He said, what the fuck you going to do about it? I'm like, all right, boom, and I've knocked them out. And I've never gone to jail for that. And I'm on camera. And the police station is literally across the street. And the cops won't give a shit. They'll be like, they said, I'm going to call I had this happen 2 months ago. I had the same situation happen. I went in to buy a Mountain Dew. I'm cutting down. I'm not supposed to be drinking, but whatever, I occasionally indulge. So I go in there and I buy a Mountain Dew, and they had a special of 3 for $3 something, so I bought 3 different flavors. And I bought the Code Red, the regular, and then the Voltage. And I drank the regular and gave the other 2 away. So I'm there, and they're like, oh, hey, Zero. And I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah. How you guys doing? I say, oh, pretty good. How about you? Yeah. So this guy behind me just is bitching and mumbling. He's this kid. He's a goddamn teenager. And he had just turned 18 a week before that. But to me, that's still a teenager. You're not a goddamn adult until you can act like it. And you're mostly in your 20s. But whatever. That's semantics. So I finished paying for my stuff, and the guy says, yo, bitch, give me this. And because in Iowa, you can smoke when you're 18, but you've got to show ID. He says, yo, bitch, get me a pack of Marlboros and what are those called? White Owl cigarettes or cigarellos or whatever?
Yeah, cigars.
I remember.
Good.
Okay, yeah. So he said, give me a 3-pack of White Owls. And he called the lady a bitch right up front, and I'm not even halfway out the door. I turn around, set down the 3 Mountain Dews. I said, what did you just say? And he goes, well, you got a fucking problem with it? And I said, yeah, I got a problem with you calling somebody a bitch, especially when they're working. What are you going to do about it? And he lightly pokes me in the chest. And I'm like, don't do that. And he goes, and then he does it again a little harder and said, don't do that. This is all on camera with the cop shop right next door. And then he just basically really shoves into me, and I go, all right, that's it. You're done. Boom, knocked him out. He got off the floor. I'm calling the police. And 2 cops just walk in. Irony of all ironies. And they saw the whole thing, and he says, I'm calling the police. And the cop's like, we didn't see nothing. It's like, well, you saw him hit me. And they go, well, what'd you do to get hit? And then right then and there, all three of the ladies that were working the 3 counters that said, "Oh well, this guy was being disrespectful, calling her a bitch and mouthing off to our customers, and we just figured we'd let it play out with Zero there." And they're like, "Zero, aren't you old enough not to be smacking kids around?" I say, "What? You can't tell me he didn't deserve it?" And he goes, "Well, I didn't say that." And they go off and they get their coffee and donuts. So that's kind of the thing, like being norm of Cheers in your local convenience store. Everybody knows your name. And sometimes that's
I want
good,
that
and sometimes
CCTV footage.
well, you're never going to get it because it's been confiscated and erased. But
Oh, mercy. And I tell you what, that was great, dude. But the everybody's been patient in the chat, and I just got a bunch of ones. You probably saw it, Zero and everybody else. What we're gonna do now?
let's do this.
We're gonna play the first ever game of Spot the Tranny. The name and idea completely stole from Steven Crowder, but I bet I'm going to do something right now that faggot won't do. Here's to you, Steven. Grow a fucking pair of balls and smoke a joint, you faggot-ass Frenchman.
Now, come on, Ogre. We actually
No.
know
I'm just
faggot
teasing. I'm just
They're
pissed.
Martying right now.
If he ever does come on the show, it'll only be for like 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes with Mrs. White.
I was going to
But,
say,
I
you
wanna
do know
get
that
not
we
gay.
already know a faggot-ass Frenchman. He wouldn't care if you said that either.
Now, but we also know that I think most people know that I'm really working hard on getting Not Gay Jared on. So let's do this. This is actually called, since I don't steal it from that cisgendered straight white Frenchman. We'll just call it what it's called here. It's called Lady or Lover Boy. So what I want to do, folks, too, is we'll all make our own decision here on what we think, and I will toss it to the chat, and we'll give them a reasonable time to say what they think. And then I'm not going to go through what everyone guesses, of course, except for the panel. We can have our own laugh, but they're out in the chat. You'll have the satisfaction of knowing if you guessed right or wrong. So we'll start here with this one right here. It's obviously just a headshot. I'm not sure if all these are just going to be headshots. That would make it a little tougher for me. But what we'll do is, because I can see the lineup here, we'll start with Caracal, MC, Tigerson, Zero, and then myself, and we will rotate one person. So next will be MC will be first, and then Tigerson will be first, and Zero will be first, and I'll be first. So if that's too hard to remember, I will try to keep track. So CC, Conscious Caracal, do you see this person on screen? And if so, is that a boy or a girl?
I'm suspecting that the first one is going to be pretty straightforward. This is a female.
Okay, female. We have one and a female. Let me get a little piece of paper and a pen. I'll keep the running tally. So go ahead, MC.
I think that's a male.
Okay, so we have 1-1 right now. Go ahead, Tigerson.
I think it's a man as well.
The man as well. Okay, go ahead, there, Zero.
I think because of the neckline, it's a woman.
Okay, we got girl. Well, I'm gonna be the
I saw that
tiebreaker.
as well.
I'm gonna say I do believe this is a boy. I'm looking at the jaw. I won't give all the reasons. Most people didn't. So I'll just say it was a boy.
I'm thinking
Listen,
Jimmy
folks
shaking
out there in the
face.
chat, do your thing quickly. Put in boy or girl, because as soon as we go through that like that, I'm going to do this. So the tiebreaker will be, we had more boys than girls in it, so I'm going to say transsexual and see what it says. Oh, born female. Beat the pain.
Hey, man, got it.
So I'm also going to keep a tally, because even though some of us on the panel were correct, we had a quorum there, and the quorum said that it was a girl. So it's now 1-0-1. Okay, so we're going to continue now.
How insulting must it be if you know that one of your pictures is in it? Is it a transsexual quiz?
I never thought of that, Caracal, but that's good point. Is that some kind of
At
like
this rate-
trans shaming?
Hey, Jeremy.
At this rate,
Oh,
I think-
Jeremy's here. Hey, mate, we're gonna run through this anyway, and then we'll talk about the election. We've kind of been waiting for you, but we'll go through it kind of quickly. We're playing.
This is a transsexual.
Yeah, we're playing Lady or Lover Boy here, Jeremy. So we got one right now that says boy. And go ahead, MC.
Boy.
Tiger.
You see, I'm just inclined to think boy with all of these, because if this wasn't in the context of a quiz, you know, whether this is what I think they're all female, but fuck it, I'll go boy.
Okay, boy. 0.
Well, it's not fair to say because people from that area do look like that, and they're either male or female. But I would have to say, once again, because of the clavicle area, I would have to probably say lover boy.
Oh, so you're saying boy? Okay. And Jeremy, can you see that picture up there? Is that a boy or a girl, Jeremy?
Hmm. It's hard, but I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. I would go for boy because I wouldn't be surprised.
Man, we're gonna have a consensus on the panel because it's. I'm gonna go with. Was that Zero that said? I mean, for one thing, the Asian, they're so androgynous. I'm gonna say we have a consensus. That was. This is a boy. So let's look. Born female. All right.
See, I told you, I don't mind being wrong, but I was right about the features of the area.
I can't believe it. And we'll keep this rolling so we know the MC is first on this.
Oh, okay, that's definitely.
I will not. I knew.
This
I will
is
not.
definitely a ladies.
Wait,
guy.
Careful. It's MC goes first this time, I believe. Right? Yep, it's third one. MC.
Oh yeah, go for it, man.
I got to be right sometime. I'm going to say boy.
Boy. Zero. Tigerson.
That is almost definitely a boy. If not, then I'm just leaving.
Zero.
I'm gonna say boy.
Jeremy.
It's the postmodern style that gives it away.
I shouldn't be answering for this one.
You say it's a girl?
I shouldn't be answering for this one, but I will go boy.
Oh boy. And again, I think I was supposed to go before him, but I'm going to say we have a consensus again. I can see a suspicious bump on the throat, and it's just too pretty to be a girl in my
I spy that.
Let's find out if we're right or wrong. We're all saying it's a boy.
There's too much overcompensation going
Oh,
on.
we're right.
Sexual.
So, yeah,
We are not
postman.
1-2.
I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
why
no.
I knew this one, but yeah, I knew this one.
Oh, you knew? Okay. Well, that's okay. Hey, listen, if you've seen these as something else, anybody on the panel, hey, there's no cheating in this game. So if you've seen it somewhere else and you know, I say it, but if you've seen the human being somewhere else.
This one strategically hides her Adam's apple, so I can't be sure.
Yeah. So let's start with Tigerson.
Ooh,
Boy or
blimey.
girl right here?
Okay, I think this is a girl.
Girl. Okay. And so we'll go right to Zero.
For once, I'm just going to be boring and say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with female.
Okay. We got back to Jeremy. Actually, it's my turn. I keep skipping myself. I got to admit, I heard what Caracal said, but I was already leaning that way. I think this may be a boy. Jeremy?
No, I'm saying this is a female by looking at her facial structure.
Girl? Okay. How about you, Jeremy?
No, I would go born a boy.
Okay. So we have 2-3. The panel says that this is a girl. Did I miss somebody? Oh, MC. Who it was? Boy or girl?
I think this is a woman.
Okay. Well, then we have 4. We have 5-2. So we actually have 4-2. So we're saying that it's a woman now. The panel is born female. Born female.
Yeah.
2-2 to the panel. Hey, at least we'd be 50-50 right now, boys, on whether we got the meat and veg or the good old tuna taco. So
born
this is a
female.
toughie. Some of these are small and it's just sitting down. So this goes to 0 to
this
start
is
it out.
small.
That's a guy.
That's a guy. It's a dude. Okay. Then we go to Jeremy.
I can imagine this with short hair.
Jeremy, boy or girl?
I would
You
I
zoom
would
in
say
on the picture.
born female.
Born female. Okay. Caracal?
Could you zoom in, Oga? Is that possible?
I can't. If I touch it,
No,
it'll
press-
tell me what it is. They're just some pictures are big
Press-
and some are not.
Wait, press Control, then scroll in.
Okay, control. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I can do that because of Tigerson.
Is that pixel her Adam's apple? I can't tell.
I can see a slight.
Boy, look. I don't want to just. Everybody else had a different picture, so I'm just going to leave it to you now to do that.
In any case, they're all fucking hot.
I agree. So Caracal's that a boy or a girl right there?
Hey, I'm a bisexual dude, so I don't care if there's
I'm gonna
dick
go
or
with
vagina.
that's
in the
Spoken like a
middle.
true Frenchman.
Boy.
It's a boy. Okay. And so now it goes to MC. Is that correct? Yeah.
I'm going to go girl.
Girl.
I'm basing
Tigerson, that-
my guess on the fact that she has to take like the picture is small. It's kind of sitting down, like you said. There are all kinds of factors that look.
Her chin's
deliberate.
bumming me out. Her chin
I'm
and
gonna
jaw.
say I'm gonna say girl. She looks a little like.
Oh,
Cameron
we got another
Diaz.
girl, and last but definitely not least, 0.
I thought you already asked me, and I said it was a boy.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry, I did. I just tallied it up. I got it. I can't count to 6 apparently. And besides, it wouldn't have mattered because the panel says this is a girl, so born female. Transsexual.
Got him.
Hell,
Got us.
I've
2 to
only got
3.
one wrong so far.
2 to 3.
I've only got one right so far.
All right, so here we go. Next, we're gonna get through this. We're probably gonna go to like 6 or some. We'll go to 10. We'll see how it goes. So this
Man.
right here. Oh my gracious! I don't even.
Oh, this is obvious.
This guy
To
looks
me.
straight
All right, so I
from-
think we start with who did we start with last time? Zero. I think we start with you.
Yeah, you started with me last
Okay,
time,
so
so
it
it's not
starts
my
with me.
turn.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's a dude. I'm going boy.
This looks like it would fit perfectly on a profile for a contestant on RuPaul.
Yeah. So
It just does.
Jeremy, boy or girl?
I can't answer this one.
Oh, we gotta abstain vote. That's no problem. So Caracal, boy or girl?
Hmm. The overcompensation tells me that this person has a dick.
Okay, and that brings us to MC, boy or girl?
Boy.
Oh man, we're coming to a so Tigerson.
Boy.
All right, and then one last but not least, Zero.
I'm going to go opposing everybody on this and say that's a woman.
Okay, so it is only 4 to 1 because we have one vote in abstention. I think I said that correctly. Let's take a look. So we're saying this is a boy, born female. They got
Bloody
us
hell.
with the glamour shot there. It is now 2 to 4 to our bad. So we'll just keep
Damn.
going a couple more. Let's do 2 more.
Did you know who this one was too, Jeremy?
Yeah,
Oh, that's why you couldn't vote, man.
yeah.
that's-
If I say I can't vote, it's because I have already seen the photo in some expo.
Okay, that's fine. And like I said, that wouldn't be
It's fun.
cheating. If you know it and you want to vote anyway to get to gloat or whatever, that's fine with us. There's no cheating in this game. So I'm going to say if this, oh, it's not me. It goes to you first, Jeremy. Boy or girl?
I would go born female.
Okay, born girl. We got one, La Conscious Caracal.
I'm gonna say this looks like a teenage girl.
MCJK.
Girl.
Tigerson.
Girl.
Zero.
Once again, I'm going to oppose. The facial structure does not convince me enough. I'm going to go transsexual.
Even though it makes no difference, I throw my lot in with zero and say that this was born a boy. But the panel says girl. So let's look. Born female, transsexual. Mercy,
Jeez.
they're really throwing
Bloody
some
hell.
hay balls
I
at
have
us now.
I've had one right.
All right, and we can't possibly come back even in
Jeez.
10 now. So we'll do one more. We'll do one more and call it fun.
Okay, that is definitely a woman. That's just. Ugh.
Okay, so we'll start with Conscious Caracal says that's definitely a boy. We got one in the boy bin.
That's definitely
I
a woman.
say that's definitely
A
a
woman.
girl.
That's a girl? Okay,
Mhm.
I thought I
Yeah.
heard you, Caracal, so I got the wrong name. So far, who
Oh,
has
yeah.
voted? Caracal and Tigerson?
Yeah, I voted this is a girl.
Yeah, that's definitely a girl. And if
Okay,
it's
that's a
not,
girl?
then, if
MC?
it's not, then I'm just leaving.
Girl.
Girl? Zero?
It's definitely a woman, most likely of Brazilian origin.
Okay, and then Jeremy, did you pipe up? You said boy?
I would say boy.
Okay, say boy. Man, I'm gonna go with Against the Flow now too, just because I agree. The girl looks Brazilian, but I'm just gonna be funky and say boy, and let's find out our last one to see how badly we get beaten at this point. So we're saying everybody says girl, born female, born female. That was fun.
2
I won't
out of
even
8.
lie. And to me, that was a good way. And listen, Jeremy, I think
Don't
that you
feel bad.
know
I only
this.
had 3 right.
I think that you know this, Jeremy. In fact, everyone here knows. I flirt with boys and girls. I am a cisgendered male, at least
You're
that I
just
know
a
of.
pimp.
Never done anything with someone of the same gender willingly.
You never sold anybody of the same gender? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, and I may or
For
may not
sex
have
with
been trafficked as a sex slave in my youth, but you don't know that. We don't know that. So that said, we don't have any kind of prejudice here that I know of. I mean, we got a dude from Iowa that has a lesbian daughter he fully supports. That used to be unheard of, man, in Iowa. It was like you almost couldn't do that because the whole community hector you or whatever. But nowadays, man, we can be cool, and I'm so happy to have you here, Jeremy. Bisexual or not, I may or may not give you a reach around if we were having sex. But that said, do you know anything about this election situation that we've been putting off till we saw your face?
Okay, so sorry for being so late to the party because we were so efficient at counting the ballots that them motherfuckers gave us some foreign gave us some voters of that are living in foreign countries but who asked their parents to vote for them because the counting rules are different for those and it takes longer. But given that we were efficient and we were the first one being done, they were like, okay, we're going to give you those ones too. Here, have a gift.
Oh, fuckers.
That's what it happens when you volunteer and you show yourself to be efficient.
Let's transition over into the main topic of discussion that we named the stream after.
Which
Jeremy, if you can take us away, what are your takeaways from the events that transpired today?
I don't see the title of the stream, so what is the title of the stream?
It's just French election.
Okay. So
You should have said, "Is France fucked?"
Is France fucked?
Change that.
Is France fucked? I kind of don't know because pretty much. So we have in northern France and in a lot of regions of France an awful amount, like more than usual, far more than usual amount of blank ballots. A fuck ton of people that didn't put anything in their envelope.
Yeah, I saw it was like the lowest voter turnout in quite some time.
It was the lowest turn. On top of that, for those who turn out, there's a lot of people that put an envelope that was a blank one.
Or
That was a completely.
Or a note that's spoiled with like just that they're on purpose fucked up or whatever.
Jeremy, is your mic clicked on? I have one exactly like that. Is your mic clicked on to the one position? In other words, the most powerful? And if it is, I'm going to just bump you up a little bit here in the sound room so we can hear you really clearly.
Okay, so I'm not that loud.
Actually,
That's what you're telling me?
because that sounded pretty good. I'm just going to, you know what, just so you don't have to fool with your mic, I'll just bump you up a little bit in the sound room because we all want to hear what you think because we can all say what we think, but we ain't fucking French. What, it don't really matter what we think right now.
Okay, let's talk about the Macron leaks, for example. Let's start with that. Have you guys any questions on this?
Personally, I find them incredibly disappointing. It's not that scandalous in terms of what they reveal, of what I've seen so far. Do you agree on this?
Actually, not only is it not that scandalous, but it kind of backfired to be revealing some of the stuff because, for example, when it comes to the spreadsheets of his budgeting of his campaign, it's made him being known publicly as the one who's been spending the least money of his own political party to campaign. So he's been the most sensible in his own spendings, contrary to all the others.
Really been doing with the money?
That's the thing, is that the spreadsheets are very detailed, and it basically, like, everything that we see and that has been proved to be this is exactly what they spent. He could have been spending far more in other places, and he chose not to. So that leaked spreadsheet is actually making him look good. That leaked spreadsheet of his budget is actually making him look good because
the timing of this leak is also terrible. The timing means that it wouldn't have had a big effect on the election in general, just because of the close proximity to the election, which means I don't think that these are the same actors that leaked, for example, the Podesta emails.
Yes, and on top of that, the timing also shows that the person who decided to leak doesn't really understand our system, because otherwise they would have leaked far earlier than this.
Yes, they would have leaked it a week before, because they should have known that they can't speak for 2 weeks before unless they wanted to use it as a kind of gagging mechanism. so they could expose it and then not provide the people with the opportunity for rebuttal or whatever. So
Yeah,
it does seem very weird. It does.
It's not only is it weird, but now French people are actually asking themselves, is it real or not? Because not only those leaks are completely underwhelming, but they're actually making him look good. So are those leaks
I also got
real?
that suspicion. Yeah, maybe it was intentionally leaked, just like Trump's tax returns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
The
it's
Macron
making...
thing. Yeah. Well, and I still don't believe the turnout rate, because the one thing I know about the French, having lived there and engaged with them, they usually don't come out in. I mean, especially with an election like this, you'd expect it to be about 70% turnout, 75%. This is a significant election, and the
Yeah.
idea that only how many now they're saying 60 something. No.
For now, they didn't count absolutely everything. We will know by
But it has such a big leak that we can assume.
in 20 minutes. We're gonna have the final numbers in 20 minutes. And when it comes to the numbers that we have so far, that will probably not change by that much. We're having a turnout of 62%, which is very low for a presidential
Doesn't seem
election.
right. Yeah. You see, I mean, look, the French go out and they fucking protest for the fact that the price of cheese goes up, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Well, shots fired. Shots fired.
Couldn't that be, though, simply because there's a lot of people who don't like either candidate?
No, I don't think you can call apathy. I don't think it's an apathy vote. No.
For every Mélenchon voters that I know of personally, they all went. So when it comes to the far left, they all went. But we've seen a very concerning absence of regular right wing. Regular right wingers were.
But look what we had with the Brexit vote. There were. I told people, take your own pens with you. Because you don't know what these fuckers are going to try. And what do? They gave pencils to people. You don't know how they're going to try and manipulate votes or how they're going to work it. I mean, whether it's electronic hacking or whether they do it, manually, apparently it's right. I mean, you can say it's conspiracy.
You should take your own.
But,
Well, it's not really conspiracy theory in America when we've already found out that the Democratic Party's already basically tried to screw everything over by saying dead relatives are voting, and we've called them on it, and we've caught them. I'm just saying that's not conspiracy theory. Sorry to interrupt.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's right. No, but that's the point I'm making is, that they will do anything they can to manipulate the figures in their favor.
And I'm real lucky today. I'm cabbage right now, but that's why I'm being muted. But Hypnagogic Monk, thankfully you could join us. This is kind of a serious day, as much as Zero and I hate it. But so any voice that wants to pop in, Cab, just continue. I'm so glad to have y'all. I'm trying to get one more person in here, the Beard Baron, because I don't know if this is all cabbage. Right? Is this the end of the fucking world because Le Pen didn't win?
No, it's just a migration.
Shifting into France.
No. And actually, when what has been leaked, one of the things that is concerned.
It's a sad day, and I tell you now, I don't think that.
But it would have been a sad day anyway, because every people that are not on board with either of the two are actually sad. So it's a sad day for everyone, because basically just for everyone. No, not for everyone, because the all of them, like both of them, made 20%. They made 25%, all of them. So there's still half of the country that was on board, but the other half of the country is not on board. Legislative campaigning has started like right the fuck now.
But are you talking? But are you talking about the people or the institutions? I think what you're saying now is it's not an institutional failure, because the institutions managed to maintain themselves, right? They've managed to maintain their authority.
That's tricky, actually, because one of the things that has been leaked, if it is true, what has been leaked about Macron, if it is true, we're gonna have to keep the motherfucker on watch, because though his intentions, no, let me finish. Though his his intentions are good, the way he wants to deliver on this is pants on head retarded. The guy wants to be reforming the CFCM, so the French Council for Muslim religions. Basically throw out all of the radicals, but he doesn't want any radicals anymore inside the council.
Yes, but he can't do any of that if he doesn't control the borders. And he can't control the borders if you're in the European Union. Because you can't manage your own migratory policies.
That's the thing you don't understand. That's the thing you don't understand. Like, what he wants to do in terms of reforming that council is to have only moderates at the council. And for that, he has a plan that would, with what he wants to do, it would make it legal what he wants to do. But right now, it's not legal what he wants to do.
Yeah, what does he want to do? I don't know. You keep saying what he wants to do. I don't know what he wants to do.
What he wants to do is first to completely dissolute the council as it is right now. He wants to warm up the population, as saying the way the council, the way the current council is working is completely anti-democratic, because it is those people have not been elected by Muslim people, and I want them motherfuckers to be elected. So I'm gonna dissolute the council. Normally, he doesn't have the power to do this.
Yes, no, he doesn't have it now, really. I mean, he's just adopting these powers. It's like the aristocracy. It's like going back to the days of Versailles. Let them eat cake; it'll be next. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Mr. Pressler to come on real quick, Scott Pressler, just to give his little 2 cents. If he does pop in here, folks, I'm just going to let him, because he's busy and like everybody else. And so I'm just going to let him go for a couple minutes, and then we could either talk about that, how we agree or disagree or whatever. So I don't know. Let's all think a collective thought that maybe he'll come by. I really enjoy his opinions. I don't always agree with him. In fact, honestly, I don't usually agree with him. That's why I like him. I surround myself with people I disagree with so that I can broaden my horizons.
Come to the dark side.
If I may, I just say I'm really disappointed with France. I thought they may have actually stood up and done something significant. Because, you had a chance to actually give the European Union, and it's a bad model that's currently in place. I'm not saying
they
didn't actually give it the kick in the gonads that it deserved, or the vagina.
Actually, we will only know about this in June, because the president, because we will only know about this soon, because right now we have the presidential office being filled, but we need to re-elect our assembly now. That must have been one damn good beer.
Oh
and
yeah.
The assembly can totally turn everything on its head and say, "Well, yeah, you're president, but screw you. You now have a massive uphill battle."
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that right now they basically, I just watched a speech before coming on with you. I just watched a little bit of the speech of the motherfucker, understanding that he will be elected, and that's the first thing that he said. He said, "I am completely aware that for the legislatives it's gonna suck. So people, let's start campaigning for the legislatives."
Yes, but is he looking for any kind of reform in the EU, right? Which is where the problem lies, in this Germanocentric process that seems to be occurring. Actually, is that what he's promoting? Because I've not heard a fucking peep out of him about
that. That's the problem, is that the motherfucking mainstream media of France is not talking about his plans about Europe, because they don't want to be talking about his plans about Europe. That's the thing, and his plans when it comes to migration, I don't know, but when it comes to economics, he's wildly disagreeing with them.
Well, how can it work? And like I said, once again, you got the border issue, and still, like you said, I mean, you said there was he's putting forward propositions, but he can't do that if he wants to stay in Europe and maintain the single market. You can't do it because single market, that's the one thing that was told to us with Brexit. If you don't want free movement of people, you can't have access to the free market. That was
We don't care.
one
We don't.
thing that was
we
a
don't
real fucking
Cabbage.
point.
Cabbage. We don't care. You in Great Britain, you got out.
Yeah.
So we don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. Like, oh, no common market of the European Union, motherfucker. We're gonna go see our Brits. You know, like
but the thing is, we want French people who are talented, who are capable. We just don't want other people who come in through, who have come from other countries who get a European passport because they arrive and get refugee status, and they end up as a fucking migrant, and then they end up on our shores, right? That's the problem we had. Is the European integration so-called integration program.
Again, Cabbage.
Yeah, but is France addressing any of that? Because I don't see the French people being particularly happy with the way in which, the European Union is working in that regard.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Can you let me slide one in?
Yes, you can. Oh, for fuck's sake! You've been talking for ages. I've only mentioned fucking 3 things.
That's what I told. That's what I told you. Like we have the assembly to elect, and when it comes to the referendum to exit the EU, the assembly has the right to be calling one too.
Yeah, but you haven't chosen to get out of anything. You haven't.
We have not chosen our assembly
yet. You stayed
yet.
with the status quo. No, you got status quo is what you got. You haven't changed anything. You haven't changed a fucking blind deal. Nothing. How have you changed anything with this election?
Nothing, because
I don't think he's saying
maybe they're happy with the way it is.
No, I'm not. I'm not happy with Macron. I'm not happy with Macron, and again, right now, for now, he's just a president with no government and no assembly, and he's not going to be able to form a government before before the assembly's been elected.
Yeah,
right.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I get what you mean. That the assembly has still got to be formulated, and so there's a lot to be still to come. But I don't see how, at the end of the day, you can't implement the policies.
Where does the president?
Because you're going to be in violation of the EU policies.
Where does the president live in France? I know it's a little off topic, but I was looking at today. It's a palace, and I could look it up, but it's just not coming to mind.
The Elysee Palace.
Say that again.
The Elysee Palace.
Elysee, I think you said.
Elysee.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Versailles. A lot of people confuse it with Versailles. It's not Versailles.
It's not the Bastille. I thought it might be.
Could you present that?
Let them eat cake.
You need me to present something, sir?
That didn't actually happen.
I posted a link in the side chat.
No,
I see. Oh, yep, I got it.
I want Jeremy's opinion on that.
I'm only about halfway here, Caracal, so you're going to have to shout at me, man. I got so wasted last night on Smeckle's stream. It's unreal. I mean, I had a good time. But I'm
the stream was
contains sensitive
interesting.
material.
So it says freshly translated Macron leak that should horrify you, not just the French, but all of Europe. You've been warned.
So in this,
like I said, no, I still think these leaks, the timing of it, the idea that they can't respond for 48 hours, and it suddenly pops out. It's just too convenient. It just seems
on this one. On this one, I am all on board with Cabbage on this one. Like, the timing is way weird.
Mm-hmm.
The timing is way weird. Like, either the person doesn't understand the French system or they understand it too well. Like, the timing is way off.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm also on the same tangent. Yeah.
So in this regard, to build the left futures of Europe, we demand that the socialist candidates of all the member states of the Union undertake this to implement the following proposals. Once elected, the legalization of all undocumented people currently in Europe. Immediate. They're talking about legalization, naturalization, not regularization. Okay, so immediate and final closure of all detention centers in Europe. No, like good luck with that. French people will throw a fucking fit. In the creation of we will throw a fucking fit for two fucking reasons, you fucking Nimrods. Like, we need those detention centers when it comes to refugees and people that are illegal immigrants for two reasons. First, because we need to keep them on watch for ourselves, and second, because we don't want them to basically pass the fucking tunnel under the channel. English people have already too much on their fucking plate, you fucking Nimrods.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
agree.
Thank
mate.
you. Excuse me, Cabbage. Like, it drives me fucking nuts. Okay? Like, I hate when I cross the tunnel under the channel. I hate being surrounded by fucking people because we don't have conscience, because we don't have, the detention camps for illegals. Like, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
I want to be able to cross. I want to be able to cross the tunnel with a clear mind, not with having all kinds of military assholes around me.
Yeah, good point.
No, I get that. No, I totally get it.
Well, they got Kali right there, right? Isn't that called Kali right there? What is it?
Centrist banker and political newcomer Emmanuel Macron.
Oh,
you broke a little bit, Tigerson. I'll turn you up. What's that?
Tiger Son.
Oh, he muted himself. He had something going there. He pops.
Sorry,
up.
that was me. Something happened on my computer, and yeah, sorry, that was me.
Oh, I thought you were trying to play something for us.
No, that was an accident. That was an accident.
I'm trying to see how this thing, Conscious Carrigal, ties in. It says this, in this regard, and because it seems fundamentally important for us to make. So you're saying that this came out? That's what you were saying, Jeremy? Is that this?
Emails, yes, allegedly.
Allegedly, but
yeah.
Allegedly, and when on top of that, it's way off. The creation of a European refugee status, it already exists.
The world is becoming so fucking virtual. It really is.
The opening of the opening of a European fund, potentially taking the form of a European NGO to promote through grants, material, and human aid joint development projects for the so-called developing countries. Promotion of democracy and aid to democratic parties, aid to agriculture.
Yeah, maybe this is why there's no aliens, because it's a natural state of evolution that that everyone ends up killing each other, and so nobody ends up getting anywhere.
This
is no star children. They all killed each other.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Conscious Coracle, but it sounds fishy. It sounds.
Oh yeah,
fishy.
no, to me too. I just wanted to bring it up and maybe see what you guys thought, because to me,
yeah, because for example, one of the things that is completely way off: creation of a European refugee status. It already exists. So why creating one? It's already existing. They would have said, if it was real, they would have said reinforcing it. It, reaffirming it, extending it, but they would have not been saying creating it, because it's already existing. It already exists, the European refugee status. It already exists.
I got a question for you, Jeremy. You were talking about your legislative election coming up.
Yeah, in June.
How is that determined from a physical standpoint versus a population standpoint? Are there two separate areas where one represents an area and then another one?
You got two chambers, you mean?
Yeah,
chambers. Gotcha.
We've got a Senate. We've got a Senate that is not elected by us, but is elected by is renewed by way of thirds. So during every presidential mandate. During every presidential mandate, a third of the senators will be re-elected by our legislative chamber. So we've got two chambers. We've got the Senate and we've got the Parliament. The Parliament, the people that are in the Parliament are electing the new senators during the presidency, during a presidential mandate.
Okay,
but But only a third of them. But only a third of them.
Only a third at the time are being reassigned.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Only a third.
Just a message from chat. This might be something personal. Maybe one of you might want to know. Someone by the name Amber Irvin posted something for Uncle Ogar in the chat. If that's one of you, maybe check it out. Seems like you're being addressed.
Okay, well, that was an interesting interruption. Anyway, back to the political discussion. Yeah, but you know, the French election. I mean, how did France perceive the the Brexit concept? I mean, as people in France. I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean, obviously everyone's seen how.
You want me to be? You want me
presented, but
you?
how
You
have
want? You want me to
experienced
give
it?
you? You want me to give you the polite version, the mainstream media version, or the bluntly honest version?
No, the real version. Yeah, I want.
Yeah,
I
so
want
the blunt-
facts from the
Bluntly
ground,
honest.
right?
So the bluntly
Yeah.
honest and brutally honest, pretty much all
Do you think
across.
we committed suicide, or do you think that we did a smart move?
Pretty much all across the political pond, we basically said about damn fucking time.
Okay.
You didn't want it in the first place, and you've been dragged in by your political class, them motherfuckers. So about damn fucking time that you are provided the option to get out, and
Okay.
you voiced your opinion. And actually, we were not surprised. Like when the mainstream media is like, "What? Say what? You can't guess it." Is actually wanting out, motherfucker. Since the beginning, they didn't want it to be in.
No, it's true.
Like the
So
popular.
okay, so there's no resentment, right?
Fuck no.
No,
Fuck
no
no.
hard feelings.
No hard feelings. Good.
Hell no.
That's
Actually,
the
we
important thing.
actually the only thing the French people, left wing or right wing, wanted to do is give you a fucking hug.
Oh well, I'll give you a kiss. How about that?
Thank you.
I'll give you some snuggles.
Yeah, but seriously, we wanted to give you a fucking hug because, like, finally your struggle is over. You know, like, it's
yours has
okay,
just
it's
begun.
yeah,
Well,
ours
it
has
very
just
much
begun.
may
We love
sound
you
like
too.
the French struggle is just beginning in more ways than one. Not only are you getting a president that is really going to have no amount of power for a while, but from an outsider's viewpoint, and I don't speak for America, I just speak for myself, that he could possibly, unless an act of God and the reversal happens and Le Pen gets in, which ain't going to happen, not only does Francois Holiday light version beer here have an uphill battle, in my opinion, but if he were to start persuading people to get people underneath him in the legislation that he wants to start goofing around on things too, the French people, the people of France, definitely have more an uphill battle than anything, which they don't deserve. And I just want to put this note in. I've been going on several videos, and they're calling the French a lot more grotesque thing than surrender monkeys, and apparently these people are not fucking paying attention to what's really going on. So thankfully you are here as a Frenchman to tell us your perspective, and I'm appreciative of that.
Yes, and I have to say, people know in here that I've regularly said rather deleterious things about French people.
These are the hilarious things about everybody, Cabbage.
Well, of course. Yeah. Well,
He doesn't say that about me because he knows he'll lose.
Oh, he
You
said
think
it about
we're
America, though,
authoritarian?
to piss me off a few times.
Oh, trust me, I don't give a shit who you are.
Hey, there was that one comic
He
book
doesn't-
discussion, and he never did win that one. Let's just leave it at
What?
that.
Oh, Zero.
He
You
hasn't
just
said
thought
anything.
you won.
I
You
know
just
I
have
won.
no idea how you lost. No, you just don't know how you lost. That's the
Okay,
problem.
Jeremy. So from what you're saying, though, is your parliament, even if your parliament really goes hardcore anti-EU, the Senate was still established. 2/3 of it, at least, was established to the prior parliament, right?
Actually, no. Right now, the Senate is mostly right wing. The Senate is mostly right wing right now.
Okay,
Yeah, right wing
So-
is a dangerous term, isn't it?
but but are they anti-EU or are they pro-EU?
They're fucking pissed. Like we're talking about old timers that never got on board with the European idea in the first place for most of them.
Oh,
You'd be
okay.
like the British.
So most of our
Cabbage can be
most of our
self-deprecating.
most of our Senate, something like 77% of them are anti openly in the public. Like
Okay,
they not only. It's not even that they're unhappy with the way it is being delivered; they are unhappy with the entire ID period.
Okay, so is the parliament is it a regional thing, or is it based on population, or a combination of the two?
It's it is every voting district that is electing their candidates. So basically, you're voting for a list of your region, and on the list of your region, you have the one that counts for your district on it.
Okay, who divides up the regions? Is that done periodically, or has it always been the same?
So you're asking me if we have gerrymandering
Oh, no,
issues?
yeah,
just
exactly.
Well, yeah,
That's
because it
gerrymandering.
is an issue here in the United States where every
Yeah.
time there's a census, those lines get redrawn, and whether you use the term gerrymandering or not, it applies to both to both parties where they redistrict, they resize how the districts go.
Okay,
Right.
so the people who are drawing the lines over here in France are done by the electoral committee that is containing representatives of all political parties. So they agree on a map. Every political parties are there and they agree on a new map.
But they also do the same thing with gerrymandering because they all have to agree at the end of the day. It all has to go through cross-party. That's how it works. But it is a form of gerrymandering, however you want to spin it.
Yeah, but over here, the redrawing is generally based on population more than anything else. It's based on packs of people.
No. The areas are, this is the whole point about gerrymandering that makes it so devious. They block off groups of people depending on their demographics, right? It's a demographic allocation as opposed to just purely a numerical. If it was just numerical, then you could just draw lines, right? That would be easy.
Yeah, but over here it's purely numerical. That's the thing, is that over here you basically every district that's the thing, is that what the gerrymandering has come down to over here in France is that they tried real hardcore to get rid of the department districts and to only reason in terms of region. And when it comes to the electoral map, everyone was like, no, fuck you, we're not going to let you tinker with that.
Oh,
so
good. That's why I'm surprised that the election turnout apparently is like 60-odd%. I don't believe it, because the French will moan about anything. They'll quite happily turn out for anything and everything.
Yeah, but you got to take.
If they could do that about gerrymandering, they'd certainly come out about this sort of the general election, especially when it's so so significant.
You got to take into account several things when it comes to the very low turnout. The Green Party over here in France is not left-leaning, not right-leaning, because every voter that is a member of the Green Party, every voter that is a member of the Green Party can be either or. So they're not left-leaning, they're not right-leaning, because when it comes to political leaning, they are either or. So the Green Party didn't turn out, probably, for the most. It's not probably, there is a fuck ton of members of the Green Party, a lot of voters that say, no, I didn't show up and I don't care. So there is a Green Party that didn't show up.
Yeah, you say the apathy vote. Yeah, but it's not about apathy. I don't think it's an apathy thing.
Who said apathy?
They'll go and, they'll demonstrate on the streets and do all kinds of stuff. There's not a day goes by where there isn't somebody doing some demonstration.
Yeah, true. Protest in the streets in France is a kind of a national sport. Everybody does it, okay? No matter the political party, no no matter
Bigger
the
than
political
soccer.
party. Yeah. One thing that actually was interesting is that the president of the bosses unions, not the workers unions, of the bosses unions. So the president of bosses unions, Laurence Parisot, offered to Mr. Macron to be a member of his government, and he flipped the finger at her and said, "Oh fuck no, I know better than this."
So who determines who? Does the president determine his own cabinet?
Yeah, but generally he tries to balance out his government.
Yeah.
Like they hate
He has
so
to
much.
appease the opposition.
Yeah, they hate so much. They hate so much the situation of cohabitation that they generally try to have a government that represents the legislative chamber.
Or the
So-
way
so
they
does your-
perceive the perception of the people. Their
Yeah.
So
weird
how
perception.
how important then is your bureaucracy underneath them? Do they get changed over drastically when these changes happen in government, or do they more or less remain in place?
Depends on who gets elected, but they can be changed. They can be changed. They can the basically, for example, like the Ministry of Culture and Arts, right under them, the bureaucracy that is in charge of the ministry. It has changed multiple times during the past mandate, and it can be changed. It can be changed around if they think that they're not cooperative enough. So the high civil servants, yes, they can be changed around. The bureaucrats.
Jeremy, we've got a few people watching now, so I just want to say something serious to you, man. I'd probably kiss you on the lips where people could see us. You know, where I just wonder what it'd feel like with your beard rubbing on my beard. That's it.
Beard entanglement. You guys are being a
No,
world of
that
hurt.
was fucked up. I've got to interject something like that once in a while, or some of my longtime viewers will just be like, "These faggots are going to talk about news all day." So there you go. I do like your beard, brother. You know, all jokes aside, it's cool. I love beards. I think that it's a shame that only Islam and Jewish folk like myself have beards, because I don't know why. They're cool. Grow a beard. It's like Gavin McGinnis says, if you don't have a chin or whatever, grow yourself
I've
a
got a
face,
beard,
man.
mate.
Comb it. Take
I've
care
got
of
a
it.
beard.
Use Beardbarian's beard oil.
I have a beard.
I've got
I
a
have a beard, and I don't
That's what I'm
need
gonna do
your
now. And
fucking.
guess
I
what,
don't need your
Jeremy?
snake
I'm
oil.
also going to use a little bit of this coconut oil later while I think about you and your
God, Jesus,
large,
you made me
well-endowed
Hey!
wife, girlfriend.
Sexual manhood.
Just to show I'm an equal opportunity flirter there, Cabbage Patch.
Yeah, right.
Cabbage is thinking, what a mincer. What a
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Fucking
it
tart.
balances
You're
out
a
because we know
tart.
Cabbage is an equal opportunity offender, so we're all good.
Oh no, he's a ladies' man. He's got this girl, Defrader Watcher, wrapped around his pinky. She's been up in the woods for 2 weeks, and she still finds a way to leave little messages on old videos we did. And it's like, I mean, everybody thinks I like Cabbage, but the main reasons he's here is because, you know, she would leave if I didn't let him on every day.
Great as an angel.
Now he's a real ladies' man. The girls dig the Cabbage. I don't know why.
They do. Everyone loves some of the kimchi.
Oh, sorry, that derailed the shit out of it. I was just saying that you're
Yeah,
very
you
interesting,
did.
Jeremy. That was my weird way of saying you're really interesting. And
Yeah, it was very weird.
I'm glad that you're
very
here today.
roundabout and totally disconcerting and this.
it was serendipitous how we
Doing
met
it.
you right before the election, because I wouldn't know a Frenchman right now to come on. And once again, as I'm going to brag, also I broke in like that because Hypnagogic Monk hadn't said like 2 words, and I watch all of his shit. He's a hard driving man. You've got to really, to appreciate his videos, you have to have some time to where you can put it on full screen and watch him as he. You can hear that truck just hammering when he goes in the passing lane and spouting off some pretty. And again, I agree with maybe about, I don't know, I'd hate to percentagize it, but maybe 15-20% of what he says. But it's all well said. It might be more like 40. I don't really know. I don't agree with him a lot, though. That's why I watch him. Again, so if you don't agree with me, I encourage you to come on by, because I guarantee between the Frenchman, the Englishman, the South African, the African, the white African, the Hypnagogic Monk from somewhere in the deep South, MCJK saving the world, and Zero from the Midwest. I mean, we got all kinds of ideas.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that I like about this, right? No, because it is rare that you actually get to speak to say, you know, I mean, anyone really from Europe. The internet tends to be pretty much hogged
Yeah,
by the Americans.
that's one
So-
that's one of the things that is actually sad, is that pretty much we have the possibility to talk to anybody
Absolutely.
in any country, and we keep to ourselves and we keep inside our own bubbles.
Exactly.
That's
And
sad.
unfortunately, you know, and I like actually speaking to people from Holland or, you know, wherever it happens to be. That's why I really like, you know, it's good.
But
it's cool
that's
that
all
you're here,
changing
man.
now. I mean, that's one thing that is changing. It's just going to take time. I think
Yeah.
more people are going to be
It's an
talking and
evolution.
utilizing this, taking advantage of it. So,
It's an
but
evolutionary process of the technology.
do you have a question for him, Monk?
He may just be
Hypergenic.
chilling. I'm just glad he's
Mark.
here. Thanks again, MC, because I just want to give him an opportunity. And one more time, since he mentioned conjured him up and he didn't come, that's obviously Rasputin. There, I know what record it's from, but that's obviously Rasputin. Hi, how you doing, brother?
Mhm.
Sorry, computer was freezing up on me a little bit. No, man, I'm just trying to get a grasp of all this because I can make my obvious assessments from a American perspective, but it probably would be a little offset
Not give a
from what we
shit,
see.
Nah, lay it on us, man. Come on, give us 30
Well,
minutes.
when I mean, I do have concerns. I can
Shoot,
I can
shoot.
understand where the French people would look at Le Pen and find her a bit right wing, but at the
Shoot your-
same time, I can also
We're getting a bit of
understand.
an echo.
Sorry,
Yeah, we
that
are.
was
What the
me.
hell?
My fault. Sorry, I knocked my microphone.
Damn it, Englishman.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Hypnagogic.
I could also understand where a lot of people. I think maybe it's an American perspective when we look at all the immigration and we get fed the constant barrage of immigrant issues in Paris, and we're looking at this as, you know, it's a good thing to do a serious control over the immigration issues in Europe, and Le Pen seemed to be definitely advocating for that, whereas Macron seemed to be a little bitch.
Well, when it comes to immigration, it's also always kind of difficult to talk immigration policies with French people while you are being a French politician for various reasons, and one of them is that some people are advocating for a centralized immigration system rather than what we have right now, which is basically the responsibilities are divided between several tiny institutions, tiny administrations, rather than having centralized stuff. Because the one time when we have a centralized system, the system was inhuman as fuck, even with the people that were playing by the rules. It was really inhuman. Like, it was really treating everyone like shit.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with enough of. Sadly,
No.
not familiar enough with European politics and understand, you know,
No,
the history of a
but-
centralized immigration system you're talking about.
I'm just giving you some context. I'm just
Okay.
providing you some historical context. Historically speaking, we're taught in school about the one time that we had a centralized immigrational system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not familiar with that. I mean, if you could kind of elaborate.
During Napoleon III, we had one administration that was in charge of immigrants, and everybody was treated like ass, was treated like shit. People, even people from the UK, like even from even from neighboring European countries, like we were treating like dog shit. Like, some of them were actually beaten and interrogated publicly, like on public space.
Jeez.
Like, yeah, no, it was horrible. It was literally horrible. Like, there was public beatings and stuff like that. So it was not a good time. And basically, you always have that nagging thing in the back of your mind, like, what if we have a centralized system? What if we go back to those horrible times? So it's always tricky to be talking immigration for any politicians. Even for Le Pen, it's tricky.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about the egalitarian movement, right? When it was all about utilitarian movement, right? That's when I went back to. Like the Americans had, who was the woman who created the, oh God, what is the Planned Parenthood? Also
Margaret
known.
Sanger.
Yeah, it was a Margaret Sanger thing. It was like, and it was kind of like a eugenics related sort of like perspective. You know, utilitarian. Everyone has to serve a purpose. Very much socialist. It came post World War II. That's how it happened, because you know everyone had to get on with their job and just do their shit, put your nose to the grindstone and get on with it. And that's how it, you know, that's how Europe developed post World War II, because you know everyone had to, you know, suck it up and fix shit because it had all been blown up.
Well, the problem is that the centralized immigration system was far before that. It was during Napoleon III, so it always kind
Napoleon, yeah, but it's Napoleonic law, yeah. Oh yeah.
Napoleon III, motherfucker who went to Mexico and got his ass kicked.
Yeah. Yeah. And Napoleons can never get it right.
Well, Napoleon Bonaparte got a heck of a lot
You see
right.
a trend happening here.
No, but seriously, Cinco de Mayo is literally the celebration of kicking the French out of Mexico.
Oh, I'm not going to complain about that then.
Explains why we had a 5 for 5 taco sale over at our local restaurant.
There you go.
Guys, I think I'm going to opt out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks,
This was
Caracal.
a
You made
Bye,
this
Contis.
another interesting stream, but I think tomorrow, after digesting the events of the day, we'll have many more opinions relating to this topic. But anyway, cheers, guys.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks, Caracal.
So Jeremy, do you think this election portends a big leftist swing within the legislation as well?
No, it's gonna the legislative chamber is probably gonna be very diverse, and that's gonna be a pain in the butt for them. That's gonna be a pain in the butt because pretty much everybody will want to be inside the legislative chamber, and I am afraid that this is actually what we're gonna have. We're gonna have a very balanced legislative chamber, and it would be both a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing in the sense of it's going to force them to work together and it's going to force them to work, period. But on the other hand, when we will look at the TV station that is dedicated to filming them debating those laws, because we have a public TV channel filming them voting the laws and being inside the assembly and looking at them, you know, 24/7, basically. We're probably going to see an assembly that is very heated and is very, like, we're going to see people basically calling themselves names left and right all the time. We're going to see them insult the living shit out of each other. It's not going to look pretty. Like, this legislative chamber is going to be poop flinging on a constant basis.
Do they do all their arguing there, or do they do a lot of backdoor deals where the...
Oh no, everything is open and everything is filmed. So that's the problem that they have, is that since the opening of that TV station and paid with our taxpayers' money, everything is filmed. Everything's on tape. So when even, you know, like even when they discuss with lobbies, like even when they are having a discussion with various lobbies, everything is filmed. For example, when we were talking about the reforms of the laws of privacy on the internet, the talks with Google, Facebook, and Twitter, everything was filmed. Everything has been filmed and broadcasted live.
Okay, so what you're going to basically see them arguing back and forth then directly in an effort to try and persuade one another. Is that correct?
Yeah, but generally, when you are having an assembly that is so diverse, they're gonna be spending their time insulting each other. Yeah.
Does that give Macron basically a free hand then?
No, but on the other hand, we don't like seeing our lawmakers being nasty assholes with one another. That's the thing. Like, Macron is not gonna be reelected. That's the thing. Like, if the chamber is as diverse as I imagine it's gonna be, if the chamber is as diverse, people are gonna lash out on Macron at the end of his mandate. Motherfucker's gonna have to step down.
You think he's not gonna last long then?
No, he's not gonna have a second mandate. If he has a chamber that is not on his side, he's not gonna have a second mandate. That's almost guaranteed here, and everybody hates his guts right now. Everybody.
So what
That's
is
a-
this? Well, let me ask the next question. You said a third of the upper chamber is going to be elected by the newly elected parliament.
Yeah.
What are they going to put on there then, if it's so divided?
Well, they will have to agree on this, but it's gonna happen in 2 years. So the upper chamber is not gonna change for the first 2 years of the mandate.
Ah, okay.
For the first 2 years of the mandate, the upper chamber is not gonna change at all.
So I guess the next question is, do you think they're actually going to get anything accomplished at all?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the tricky thing with French politics. That when they are forced to cohabitate, when they're forced to cooperate with one another, there is a possibility for us to get rid both of the government and of the parliament and precipitate elections. If they have too much deadlocks and if there are too much bickering over each other, the French population can call upon their mayors gathering inside the council of the mayors, and the council of the mayors firing everyone. So basically, they don't want that to happen, because if they are fired by the mayors, every single person that has been legally elected is going to be ineligible for 10 years.
Oh, really? So basically, it's a massive changeover completely if the mayors kick everybody out.
Yeah. If the mayors kick everybody out, basically all of the people that got elected will be ineligible for 10 years. So they better be cooperating. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, is that if the population is pissed off at too many deadlocks, have too many situations where they cannot reach an agreement, we can reach out to our mayors and say, you know what, fire the motherfuckers. It has almost happened during the second mandate of Mitterrand. It almost happened, but at the last minute, they finally managed to get on board with one another. But it almost happened, and it made them freak the fuck out.
Wow, I like that. I wish we had more of that in the U.S. I know there are some states that have what they call recall provisions, but even that's not a certainty. I mean, it basically goes to vote. I think the last time I recall having one was when Scott Walker won governor, the gubernatorial race in Wisconsin. They went in for recall, and the fucker ended up winning again anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a number of recalls in several areas, but not for federal officials that I know of.
True, it's all state. Yeah, and it's per state. Like North Carolina here, we don't have a recall provision. So if you end up getting, they get into office and then start boning you over, which North Carolina they've been doing for quite a while, you can't do jack about it.
That's the thing that always weirds me out about the American system, is that you have so many potentiality for deadlocks. Like the filibustering thing, it basically always weirds me out. Like, can somebody explain to me filibustering?
Sure.
Because I never understood it.
The whole filibuster thing came about because of the Civil War.
Okay.
All right. During the Civil War, all right, as Reconstruction got put into place, one of the problems that came into being was they looked back and said, okay, how did we get to the point where we had a Civil War? We don't want to get to this point again. And the senator said, look, we can be the chamber of reason. All right, which they hadn't been before.
Cheers,
in fact,
Olga.
one of the senators.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
In fact, one of the senators from Massachusetts, all right,
Mm-hmm.
with a cane from one of the senators of South Carolina just prior to the Civil War. Take a big inhale there.
You're talking about why can't
Charles Sumner.
Okay, but there was who was the guy that had the record for the longest one from South Carolina? I can't think of
Oh,
his
that
name.
was
Strom Thurmond.
Yes, Strom Thurmond.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Or
MC,
was
explain
it
it to him.
Jesse,
You're doing
was it
great.
that or Jesse Helms? But we're asking. He was talking specifically about the filibuster. So what the Senate basically did is they said, okay, since we want to be the chamber of reason, we want to slow things down and relax things a little bit. We're going to, within ourselves, institute a rule that says any kind of legislative process that goes through here, with the exception of nominees by the president for his cabinet nominees, will require a cloture vote, and a cloture vote can only take place if 60% of the Senate agrees. But that rule itself is just a rule that the senators put in place themselves. That is not a rule that necessarily binds the Senate from saying, okay, well, we're no longer going to have filibusters.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a rule, a self-imposed rule of parliamentary procedure, for lack of a better term.
Okay, so it's kind of so filibustering is kind of a super move to stop the conversation from going.
Yes, it's basically what it is it's a cloture vote. You need 60% of the Senate to agree to end debate. Otherwise, debate goes on indefinitely. Now, there are other rules that were in place, all right, and the filibuster rule was never really a huge issue, all right, until they decided to say, okay, we're going to add a second gentleman's agreement of where you no longer have to actually participate to do the filibuster. You can just say we're going to vote against cloture, so we're going to continue this. And that way they could freeze the Senate. That's fairly new, actually. That wasn't I think that was put in place in the 1960s, where the Senate came up with that one, right? Because up to that time, you had to have people actually standing there, all right, once they got the floor, because everyone has to have their chance to get the floor, and continue to talk and continue to talk and continue to talk.
Okay.
So personally, while I think the filibuster rule is kind of an interesting rule in that it does keep things in a calm manner and keeps the senators from swinging canes at one another or throwing fists at one another. At the same time, when they came back with we're just going to do a gentleman's agreement to say cloture can't happen, I think that was a mistake.
Okay.
Because the filibuster was only supposed to delay things. It wasn't supposed to stop things.
But so my turn going back to the French system, it's a very exceptional thing. But do you think that we are sane and sound in the building of our system when we have that particular measure, basically giving the power to the Council of Mayors of France, saying if they are disagreeing, if the government and the parliament keeps disagreeing with one another so much that it stops from but we think the process of voting laws gets too slow.
For how you guys look at it and how your state is designed, it works very well. But for the United States to go down that route, all right, you got to remember that the states themselves were supposed to be sovereign. All right.
Yeah.
So because of that, if it was instituted from a state process, yeah. But if you're going to say do it from the perspective of federal legislation, the whole purpose of the way the chamber was designed was so that legislation was very difficult to get through. With the federal powers were created so that federal legislation really did, quote unquote, take an act of Congress to get through. An act of, meaning that, all right, it was supposed to be very difficult to have legislation. Now, there have been problems with that because the size of the government requires legislation to be much quicker. So what's the solution in the United States? Really, the only solution that's going to effectively fix things would be to reduce the size of the federal government and return much of the power, much of the money back to the individual states for
Yes, but that's exactly the issue that's happening with the European Union at the moment, right? The breaking up.
That's the thing.
Each one of them is a state. They're the same thing. They wanted to create a United States of Europe. They wanted to try but it was never going to be a federal republic. It was going to be centrally managed and controlled, but nobody had any understanding of who or what or why it was going to be managed.
Hey, check it out. Amber, did that take me long enough or what?
I didn't.
No, I think it was my fault. I tried to keep sending you like but I realized I had to send you an invitation. Cabbage, this is actually my niece, my blood niece. So if you think I forget to do shit for you sometime, it took me like 10 days to get her on here. Hi, Amber.
Hey, sister.
Hi, Amber.
Here
I'm only
I
gonna
am.
be in
Just,
here for like till 4:30, sweetie, and then I'm leaving and we can talk whatever you want. Did something happen in here that you want to talk about?
That gets weird.
not in front of all your friends, no.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if you heard us talking about France and all that stuff, and you wanted to.
You have nothing to fear.
Yeah, and these aren't necessarily my friends; they're just folks that I know.
Yeah. These people he helps in contempt.
At the end of the are you guys not all friends?
Hi, Amber. You look so good today, sweetie. How's life?
Let's all hug.
Do I look good? Oh.
Oh,
Hey,
you
do
always
I-
do. Your Uncle Dusty, you know that.
Do I look like the ogre?
Oh, mercy. No, you got lucky on the gene.
No, seriously. Yeah, you got luckier.
She's very tall, though.
Yeah, well,
She's
even
very tall,
better.
girl.
Statuesque.
I am.
Anyway. Yeah, tell us what's happened in your life today, if you don't mind, sweetie, as much as you would bear to the 41 people that are watching and 300 or so that'll watch over the next couple days.
God,
Did you have a good day? How is it, sunny and hot down there?
You know, actually this morning it was like really windy and like chill. It felt great. It really did. It was like wonderful. You have no
Do you
idea.
mind if I tell them, or do you want to tell them how you get from place to place in the busy, bustling Central Florida area?
No, I'll show them. How do you reverse
Oh,
your
show them,
camera?
girl. Show them, sweetie. My niece is a badass girl. I'm not even joking. She battles traffic. Show them, sweetie.
How do you reverse the camera on this thing?
Just turn
I
the
don't-
camera around if you have to, or whatever. Go sit on it and show them. She rides a small a machine. You know, she drives it.
Oh, you're playing it. Just do
There
a
you
share
go.
screen. There we go. Got
There
it.
you go. Yeah, let me do. Thank you, Cabbage. I'm telling you, sweetie. I got these people around here because they help me because I'm dumb. Well, I'm not dumb. Oh, that's a nice. Is that a Honda?
It's a Honda, baby.
Yeah.
Like your
It's
brother
fun.
would say.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, where she lives, there's traffic, 4 lanes of traffic going almost anywhere you're going because of the way they do shit there.
Hey, check this out. Check this out.
Don't show your license plate, sweet thing. That's nice. Fish and chips. Yeah, my beloved niece, I believe, is an atheist, which is fine. She can make her own shit.
I
Hey,
think there's something up there.
fish and chips. That makes her a native.
No, I believe she is an atheist. That's her business. I should have probably splurted it out, but I thought that sign made it clear that she had the Christian symbol and chips.
Oh, she is a native. Welcome to England. How do you
Yeah,
like
she's
it?
bored. And in fact, you're kind of a minority there, especially when you get over 25. Most people ain't from there. Central Florida.
I'm actually waiting until I turn 25 because then I can get the cheaper insurance from a car.
You're not just going to get a bigger motorcycle?
Oh, you know, Uncle Ogre, I want something. You know, when it rains,
Yeah, I
I
understand.
need something else. You know, I can't just stay on a scooter forever.
Well, you know, when I first went there and used to go see the great big ogre, Ogre Raji, I only had a skateboard, sweetie. I would go from where I-4 is there on 436 in Altamont Springs, where those apartments are. I would go from there over to where Uncle Raji lives right now, where you know where it is. I don't want to mention that place so specific, but you know where it is. I would ride my skateboard there every
Can I
day
say something really
and
quick?
then back. It's like
You
probably
know-
a 7-8 mile round trip through the same hell of traffic that you go through on that scooter.
You know how fun it is for me to watch your friends and you talk all the time, and I watch you guys all the time, but now like I'm talking to all your friends. It's just like so much fun.
Hello.
Welcome to the cruise.
I wish you could get your dad on here sometime. That would be like a small family reunion. That would be so
Kid?
awesome. My
You like
brother's like me,
Thanksgiving.
only he's smart.
Oh, Cabbage! Like I watch you and I listen to you all the time, and like Hey.
Oh, you're
You
wonderful.
poor thing.
I know. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
And most of us don't.
What? What do you
People
mean?
love to hate me.
Oh, they just Cabbage and MC. They always bust each other's balls. He was just probably MC was mad because the pretty young girl that came on didn't say anything about him. Just went straight for Cabbage. Like, hi, I know you.
I was just busting his balls.
He's just he's bit. No, bitchy. He gets bitchy. He does. But how are you? It's very nice to meet you. I'm Rafe Michael.
About politics or any of that. We're just talking about Ogre's niece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that for a minute there, sweet little Amber of mine. I used to, when this girl was first born, my brother had a dog, a little pit bull named Dozer. Remember y'all called her Bobo, right?
Bobo.
And Bobo lived to be, 18 years old, which is unheard of for a bulldog.
Yeah, that's really
Methuselah. I mean, they usually die at 8 to 10. Anyway,
yeah.
I remember that Dozer was probably like the baby brother because I was there when Dozer was brung to my brother's house. I was there all stoned, about 15 years old, brung this little dog in. And then I was there when Amber and her sister were born, Amber and Ashley, twins, both very tall. And anyway, and I remember holding you in my arms, girl. And it is funny how you would, at that time when you were born, I thought, I'll always be a hellion. I'm going to live fast, die young, leave a good looking corpse. I don't give a fuck about nothing. But it's something that is to be said that I don't have any children of my own. But when you hold a little child that is, from your family in the tree, they're up in the tree, they're monkey swinging on the vines in the tree. It's something that I'm very proud of you. I love you very much.
Oh, I got the same thing with my nieces and nephews. Totally. Yeah.
And, well, sorry, Cat.
Since you like cabbage and whatnot, everybody does, all the girls do. What is the temperature where you're at? I was trying to prod you on that. What's the weather like down in sunny Florida?
I don't know. Let's want to see here. Let me try to do this.
Just don't show your address, sweetie. That's all. No licenses, no addresses for your own safety.
I'm gonna show it all. I'm gonna show my address. No, I'm not.
Oh yeah, don't show it all.
Boobies. Get me banned out here. I gotta screen share that. Hang on, because I gotta remember if you're not talking, we can't see it. Boom. Little blurry, but you can see the tropical wonderland of Central Florida.
Yeah, it's the humidity though that kills you. It looks beautiful.
Well, but she told you, Cabby, you get so used to that you don't even. She wanted a little house with a picket fence, and she does have a little white picket fence in the front there.
The past 2 days were.
Now tell them the hard part, sweetie. How much is your rent there on that nice little place?
Gosh, $850.
$850 a month. Does that cover utilities of any kind?
Wait, I'm sorry. It's Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Amber. Does that cover utilities at all? $850.
I can barely hear it. It's like breaking up, but yeah, no, it covers my water.
That doesn't include the internet.
Because I have a water, a well. So,
Yeah, your picture stopped, but I can hear you fine. If you can hear me at all, I can hear you fine, Amber. Your picture just stopped. And that's a stark warning to anybody that wants to go to Florida. Hey, man, listen, you better have a really good job because your standard home that's decent to live in is going to cost you somewhere between $800 and $1,000. Really, you can plan on spending $1,200 if you figure in everything a month, every month.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to the people in California that are spending, $2,000 for a studio apartment. I think that they might have kept
I'm
that.
not saying, hey, I didn't
really depends on where you live in California. You live in the Bay Area, yeah, you're going to pay out the ass for like a box.
Amber, if you're still here, thank you for coming by.
We're boxed in here like fucking chickens. It's like bloody battery farming over here. Everything is a split development, They don't build extra houses. They just split houses in half. Doesn't matter how much they have to split them. Yeah, that's how it works.
Hello, Beardarian.
Beardarian.
I see you in the chat.
Oh, I thought I'm sending the link, but he just got, he goes and he is a barbarian. I was trying to tell my wife for months now, look for the video. I'll find it. Beardarian, put in the chat if you hear my voice and you're actually listening. What months of the year do you go to your primitive campsite where you and the missus can be barbarians? Because I can't remember. I think he said like Oh, I don't remember. It's something like 9 months of the year, and it doesn't matter to them the temperature. And if I'm understanding correctly, it's primitive. No electricity, no phone, no light, no motor car, not a single, all that. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
I got so drunk on the cunt stream last night that they're the only people that I know that said, bring your A game, Mr. Ogre. We want the ogre, the character, the ogre. We want that. They're the only people so far that have blatantly asked me for that. And when I give it to them and shine, you were there a little bit, MC. I don't know how long you hung in, but I slammed 5 beers in 5 minutes. I got extremely wasted, and I just let myself go loose. I mean, I know
I
it's
think
like
you had a couple of extra things too.
No, that was I smoked
I
smoked
was
about
in
5 or
there.
6 bong swats too. Yeah, but that's all I did.
The cunt stream is generally not what you'd call a cognitive high point of the day.
No, exactly.
Oh no, but they're
not
not
the
PC
height,
at all either. I love
No,
them, man.
a heyday and high days.
To me, it reminds me of short attention span theater in real time. If
Yeah.
anybody remembers
Uncle
that
Dust,
show.
can you hear me?
Actually,
Yeah, how you doing, Amber?
Yeah.
Amber,
Hey,
what
yeah,
up, Amber? This is my family right here, Amber.
hey, I'm sorry. It's going in and out, and I didn't mean to interrupt any conversation, but
No, do it, girl. Everybody does. I do this shit all the time.
yes. So the weather in Florida is beautiful. Like yesterday and the day before, it was like, I don't know, 80 degrees. But 80 degrees in Florida is a miracle. It feels so wonderful. It's
As long as it
absolutely.
doesn't have humidity.
You can almost call it a cool day, especially if the winds are blowing.
Well, that's because Florida has only two
yeah,
seasons.
I'm
Hot,
just saying from
real
what
hot.
I'm seeing, it looks like it's 86, 25 humidity. That's not too bad. Not
That's
Florida.
good. Yeah, no.
You know, your father wasn't born in Florida, but what I'll say is this: I don't know if you know who Jim Phillips is. The
Was
Phillips
he born in
father.
New Hampshire?
No, Dilly was born in
Tennessee.
Louisville, in Kentucky. Oh wait, I think your dad was born in Maryland.
Are you sure?
Oh no, I'd have to ask him. Dina was born in Maryland, I
You
believe
know,
I
he
was born in Oldham County,
What
but
about the
Dilly
French
was
election?
there.
He won't answer my phone calls.
Oh, let's not talk about family business. It's because
You're
your
right.
dad is so busy that he don't give a fuck about anything but making it to the next day, man. I love that guy.
Making it with Kathy.
Well, let's not. We'll talk about it later. And 'cause
Nice.
I
What
love
about the
them
French
all.
election?
You know
I
what?
don't know.
I will say
feel like
this.
I feel like your friends might be interested in your. Actually, no, because you don't want to talk about it.
Man,
and I
no,
get
don't
it.
fucking do that, girl, because here's the thing.
Yeah,
If
we
we
never
were to
dox
just give
each
our
other.
opinions
No.
right now on our
Not
family,
happening.
because you and I both already know what they are. You know how I feel about this. Is one of my best friends, people. She's not only my family, she's one of the only family members, since she wanted me to air some dirty laundry, sweet thing. This is as much as I'll give. She's one of my only family members that condescends to contact an ogre, because I, like my beloved brother, get busy and get caught up, and heck, I might miss a text for 2 days. I might forget to send you a link, Cabbage Patch. That's not personal. That's my tendency. It hasn't made
Oh,
me
I know. You're
an abundance
retarded.
of
I
friends,
understand.
but my beloved niece Amber, she's always, man, you're class A act, sweet thing. I mean it. You're just such a wonderful, warm human being that is so forgiving and loving in your heart that it's a pride. Anybody in the family that brings shame on our family, it's almost like you bring so much good to it that you at least cancel out 5 or 6 jackasses. That's all I'm gonna say.
Totally. That's why you're my favorite.
I love you, sweetie.
Love you too.
I guess it's like a
Anywho.
So, enough kiss ass. Right, Aurelian, where were you talking? What were you saying about the French election?
Just like that, sweetie. No more
I understand.
First, let's talk 2 seconds. Well, what do you want to know, basically?
Well, I mean, how do you think it's going to turn out? If I mean, obviously, it's going to turn out that she doesn't win. So, what do you think is going to be the result? Like the fallout, if you call it that. The consequences.
Well, for what I am seeing on Twitter, people are not even celebrating. Like outside of Macron supporters, not like French people are not celebrating. Twitter is having,
like the Ramonas, right? What I mean is, like the Ramonas, how they're going to try and get an election change, or they're going to try and re-influence something, or they're going to try and, you know, like just bitch and moan because they didn't get their way. Do you think that's going to happen?
Bitch and moan, no, but the campaign for the legislative chamber is gonna be nasty.
Beard Barian.
Hello, Beard Darian.
Why, hello there, gentlemen.
I can't remember the words. Something about a subscribe and do something, and fuck it, he's off to get a drink. I love your little ending, man. That's one of the coolest things I've seen. The dude, and like the book comes up.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
You haven't seen the Barry that comes out, and like the book comes up to him on a stick. It's sometimes I watch this stuff, and it's like, how the fuck y'all think of this, and why didn't I think of it first?
The actual diorama is behind my little soundstage where I normally sit doing these things. Like it's an actual diorama. It's not graphics. It's cardboard and tape and shit.
That's what it looks
you do
like.
stop motion. You do stop motion stuff.
Oh no,
it
it's
looks
not
like
even
it's real
stop motion.
time.
I've just got it on like a little piece of moving cardboard, and I just pull the pieces around like a diorama
right.
you do for
Yeah,
science
yeah.
class. Like it's
Yeah, it's
The
more
Japanese thing. Yeah,
published,
the
though.
Japanese thing.
yeah,
I know.
except much lamer. It's a Girl Guide cookie box.
Oh my god, that's cheap production.
Oh hell yeah! Keep
Holy
it simple,
shit.
stupid. That's the rule, man.
That's it. Damn right. The kiss rule.
Oh, did I derail everything there? I'm not
Oh,
sorry.
I don't know. I just realized I was
Yeah,
typing.
no, we were actually saying something, but you know, I mean, what the fuck?
No, you know, here's the thing,
Nobody seems
Barry,
to give a
it's
shit
like
about
we
what
went-
we were talking about.
We went. There's my.
French election, apparently, but nobody's talking about it.
Well,
so,
we
you know,
went
fuck
for
it.
like a long time on the election deal, and I'm all politickered out almost. And besides, I mean, I'm almost showed out. And Amber's still here. I got what I wanted to know. I asked Jeremy, "Is it the end of the world?" He's like, "No." Cabbage is like, "No." I mean, I'm sure some people are happy, some people are sad, but in the end, I don't know. Man, I always say if you put them all in a bag and shake them up, you pull one out. You got a politician. What the fuck? Even Trump, as much as I dig him, I mean, in a lot of ways, he's still being a politician lately, more than I would like. And so, what's the difference, man? The sun will come out tomorrow. You can bet your bottom dollar there'll be sun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
I thought
that
everybody
Right.
joined into
That
that. Like,
song
bouncing
sucked
chorus.
when it was first came out. I've hated that song.
No, yeah, I hate it too. I didn't like Orphan Annie. I was more of a Peppy Longstockings kind of guy.
Oh Jesus!
I like Peppy Longstockings. It came back out in fashion. Like the girls would wear these socks that went up over their knees, stripy socks with short skirts. Oh my gracious. Amber, cover your ears. Every time I see that, I just think about, cover your ears, Amber. I can't say it right now because she won't cover her ears.
Hey, I'm not a little baby anymore.
You'll always be my little baby. Yeah. That's the way
Orphan
it is.
Annie, another fucking little state, a little present on the state, right? State subsidized.
Oh no, she does whatever she wants, I'm sure. I was just making a stupid joke. I'm sure where she's at and who she is, she's heard it all before. There's nothing I could say to shock her. I just like the knee sock, whatever they call them, the socks, the thigh highs, stockings. You dig it? Like colorful, stripy stockings. Whew.
Yeah, Uncle, you didn't have to add me if you didn't want me to listen to everything. Like I don't already do it without me actually being on
True.
here.
Yeah, I seen your
Listen.
boyfriend smile. You're doing something. He grins from ear to ear. He's a great guy. Is Benjamin.
He shaved his head.
Shaved his head.
Yeah.
Huh. He had a nice unruly shock of thick, bushy hair.
It's not bushy. He's balding.
Really? I mean, I'm not going to just put a picture up without your permission, but I know I've got one or two of them.
I don't care.
I'm just
Anywho.
going to go. I mean, you know what I'm doing? I'm on your thing right now. I'm going to Facey, and I'm looking to see if there's anything that anybody could steal from this. So let me control and zoom. Tigerson showed me this deal today, and it's kind of groovy. You two make a cute couple. That's all I can say. They look like they should be a comedy actors on a comedy team. Because I just love Do-Man Smile. If he sees this, he's going to be like, dude, it's so weird. I told him that on the phone, though. You heard me, Amber. I was like, I love your face, dude. It's just happy. So, dun, dun, dun. And how tall is he, Amber?
I
Are
don't
you
know. Like,
standing up there, right?
no, that's me standing.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So you're both standing up. How tall is he?
I'm a tall little girl. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm wondering how tall he is. He must be 5'11" at least, 6 foot tall.
That's what I was. Yes, that's what I was going to say
So you're 5'8", 5'9".
about that. Yeah.
All right. Well, since we're going down this road, now tell people without me saying it first, how tall is your mama? We won't say her name, I guess, because I don't know her enough to talk or say her
My
name.
mom.
Yeah, how tall is she? I know.
I don't know, like 5'7".
Oh, mercy. She's 6 foot tall.
My mom.
Absolutely, at least. She's taller than your dad.
No,
but
no,
at least-
no. You
His dad's
haven't
5
seen him
foot.
in years.
Well, your
You
dad's
don't
5'8".
remember.
You know what? And I could be
No.
remembering wrong. That's why I asked you. So you said
That's
she's
exactly
tall?
right. You are remembering wrong. Yeah, she's like, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe at the most. 8 at the most.
I've got pictures right in the room though that say Dillard is 5'8". So she's
Yeah, you
got to
should-
be 5'10" because she's at least 2 inches taller than your dad.
No, mom is not.
Oh, girl,
No,
I
she's-
got it.
she's not.
We used to kind of joke about. I mean, I just said not family stuff, and I'm gonna say I joked about your mom being so much taller. But I think that's where you got your height. I'm pretty tall. You know, your uncle. I don't want to just start blurting out names. I already did a bunch of them. Screw it. Good luck with these people anyway. If you did go, I think my brother collects hatchets and stuff. Is for a joke and throws them at things, and he does walk
He
around.
does.
I think
It's
most
fun. He flings them and lands them on wood. You know, it's a hobby. It's not like he wants to kill somebody with it. It's just a hobby.
Oh, he was telling me about taking out a hog with his AR. He said he went to this big old reserve and got this big. He says a massive hog, and where he was at, I think he said, I can't remember if he said it was an Indian reserve or privately owned, but whoever owns it, you go out and hunt. When you kill something, you got to pay for it by the pound. Did you? I'm sure you saw the pig. He seemed to be very proud.
It's funny that you say that because Kathy, you know, his wife, like she doesn't want to eat the food, the hog, and she just takes a little bite and she says, that's good. And then she just feeds it to her dog.
The pig? Feed the pig to her dog?
Yeah, she doesn't like it, so she just acts like she does, and then she takes it out of her mouth and feeds it to her dog.
Well, teach their own. But I'll tell you what, last time I seen Papa, when I was there, he was on the St. Johns River in his little crappie slayer, and he said he found a good spot. He had probably 150 crappie in the freezer, and we ate about 75 of them. I'm not even kidding. He kept frying, and we kept eating them.
Hey, what do you call shrimp?
Shrimp?
Shrimp. Did
Man,
that
I don't
ever?
know. Is there another name? Prawns? I think they're
Shrimp.
different though.
Shrimp.
Shrimp. I don't know, man. But so you did the old man get some shrimp now? He's my brother is a killer of things that he would like to eat. If he wants to eat it, he'll go kill it. I guarantee you. He's a Florida boy too. When I was 15, went down there and hanging drywall in the summer with Papa. We were at this place out by Rock Springs. If you go to Rock Springs, where the canoes are, if you took a left, you can go down there, and people own the property down there. We were doing the drywall in this one. Me and your dad used to throw chickens in trash bags out there, or, in like a bread bag out there, whole raw chickens, and then we would go swimming. Not even kidding. Now, we didn't swim with the gators as in touch them, but ask your dad if I'm even joking. We would go swimming where your dad would get a little bit closer than I would, within 8 feet of a 6-7 footer. And I would get about 10 feet away, and they didn't seem to want anything to do with it. But anyway, that's how I grew up. Your dad, we were at Rock Springs, and your dad, he loves turtles. You know that. Am I joking? He loves turtles. Probably his favorite animal on earth. And there was a smooth shell snapper, not a leatherback or a gator snapper, but they got these smooth shelled snappers. They get about this big when they're 80 years old, which this was probably about 80, about maybe 12, 14 inches diameter. And Dad was trying to catch it, and it jumped down in the river at Rock Spring. And I used to be pretty athletic. He was like, "Get it, Dusty, get it." I just was running, taking off my clothes, and dove in there in my undies, man, and boof! I got that turtle for your dad, though. I love Florida, and your dad is a lot of the reason why I am who I am today. He really showed me what it was like to take some time to go out and do cool stuff that had nothing to do with.
I feel about this right now. I feel like all of these people that you've been on these chats with, they're like seeing your personal life, and you're talking.
Well, right
about
now a little bit, but I'm more talking about some things I've done. I always tell them about stuff I've done. I like you being here because then if I say some things that have happened, it does people know I'm not lying. Because I hear a lot of BS out here, girl. I've actually worked with some people in the past that they say things. Somebody said, and I quote on a stream I was on with them, they said, and I quote, well, you know, I can touch somebody in the right place and they'll die, but I just don't do that because it's not what you do. What you do.
Well, that's only a slightly unfair assessment, Amber, in a way, because I talked to Ogre and Beardbarian and everybody else about my daughter and what she's doing and how very proud of her I am. So it's not like he doesn't. It's not like we have the advantage over him. So if you're going to smack anybody around, smack us around for chipping in too and egging him on.
Well, yeah, they're all very, very free with their life is what he's saying. I'd probably mention more names, but here's the fact. This is the way I look at it, Amber. If somebody wanted to find out who I was, look at that weaponized autism and how they unleashed it on Bike Lock Man. And I was just watching wrecked feminist videos today with the guy with the 3D glasses on, a little statue in the corner, wrecked feminist videos. And these people are serious. I mean, they've had several instances. One guy had a full mask on and gloves, but they found out who it was. They lined it up in this. I mean, you don't. Oh my mercy! So what I'm trying to say is, me sitting here, Amber. I mean, there's probably people already know who the fuck I am, but I think you don't really. Amber's never been to my house. We live on opposite peninsulas. The fact of the matter is, it's kind of like your dad. I mean, if somebody they don't want to go to your dad's house and try to do some fuckery. He lives in Florida. If you were at his house doing fuckery, he can just shoot you, and he would do that.
Well, should he change the locks on Ashley?
Oh, man.
But anyways.
Jerry. I can hear it inside the chat. We've dropped down to 30 viewers, so some people have bailed, but if we start talking about like changing locks and whatnot, there'll be 100 people
where's the
watching
conversation? This is like listening in on a Skype call.
I love it. It's good, huh?
It really is like a Skype call.
Well, I don't get to see Amber a lot. I don't. And you know, in the end, who gives a fuck anyway?
Listen, I didn't come on here to talk about our lives. I came on here to be a part of what you all are talking about.
Oh, so what do you think about the French election, sweet thing?
I have no idea.
Oh, I see Jeremy left.
No, I'm still.
No, he's there.
Oh,
No,
you got.
he's just behind his logo.
Oh, I love the logo.
So there you go, sweetie. I'll be quiet. I'm just because join in. I just, man, you know, and if it sounds like a Skype call, it's cool. People will rewatch this and they'll be happy. They got a little insight into a real people's life. You know, it's fun.
They won't trust me. They'll fast forward.
Yeah. Well, they fast forward when you're talking for sure.
Yeah,
Because it's like you're just droning on about police state.
Right. Well, you mean about facts, about things of interest.
I'm so upset because I'm not dominating conversation and
People just don't want to hear from an old
now he's speaking up again. So I was muted for an hour and a half. I'm just glad to see my niece. Hey, you're free to take off too. It's groovy.
Or I can just sit here and shut up and listen to you guys banter.
No, I'm over
You
it.
said your niece likes me
Cabbage is always
anyway.
trying to like be grumpy with me.
Cabbage
out
looks
there,
like
just be a
a
dick.
mole ron.
What was that?
Cabbage looks like a mole ron. A mole ron. Is that like
What
some
is
kind of
that?
mole?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Mole on the butt. So yeah, I'm over it anyway, girl. I'm gonna be honest. It's 4:40. I started doing this at like 2 o'clock, 2, 3, 4. Man, the longest someone goes. You know,
Clock every day.
I'm over it.
Well, the sun's coming out, so you got to start making hay, mate. So you're gonna have some backbreaking.
Oh, I've been planting and plowing and doing all that. I've been making hay.
So backbreaking, yeah. Well, you know, the beginning of the season, the end of the season, backbreaking works. In between, you can enjoy the, you know, just a bit of weeding. You'll be okay.
I hoe in between.
As I said, buy yourself some.
You know, up north they call it pimping.
Ladybugs.
So I just have one question. When are we breaking out the hookers?
I don't know. It's a very
I've
good
been waiting
question.
all this
It's a
time.
very
And no
good question.
hookers.
Yeah, I subscribed. I wanted hookers. Where are the fucking hookers? Just a good face.
This is what I came here for. Isn't this what we have these talks?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just going to let
Paid
Amber.
into
She said
this.
she wanted to meet y'all. There
It
you
was
go,
an
Amber.
investment fund.
Sorry, I don't.
Hey, it's okay. I want to meet the hookers too. You know, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Hookers are
one
fun, I
little
tell
thing.
you. I tell you what, they've got life experience. If you ever meet a hooker, they're the most honest people in the world.
Well, you got to
They
feel
are. They
sorry
tell you
for
right up
Amber.
front.
She missed the lady boys. You know
I
that,
was
right,
sorry I
Ogre?
missed the lady boys.
What's that?
That was
Missed the what?
She missed the lady boys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we were doing. If you could tell if it was a. Did you see that? We were having a little test if you could see if it was a tranny or born a girl.
You know, I watched all your videos.
Oh yeah.
Really, that's great, girl. Thank you. I mean, I better watch what I say even more now. I guess. No,
Honestly,
yeah,
I'm
She
not a
loves
kid.
me.
I'm an adult, okay?
oh yeah, I know. But sometimes I wonder who I know sees this. And Amber knows I was a preacher down where she lives. You know, some people might look at this and not understand the joke, but some others will. Like I would say this, Amber, your grandma might not get the joke. My mother, she don't get any jokes though. I mean, whose mother
Do you
gets
need a
jokes? I don't know.
Man,
I think when you have a baby, they surgically remove your sense of humor. Your funny bone is surgically removed with the child.
so we got a problem here. According to chat, most of the other people here also subbed for the hookers. Where are these hookers? We got a problem here.
then why don't you invite the hookers? Why do we
The
have to bring?
hookers? I just was camping. I'm not hosting this.
No hookers, man.
Damn it.
My wife will be home in about 10 minutes or so, I think. She
I
should
guess
be.
I'll just have to sell
Unless she's
myself.
watching the stream, and then she may never come home. Love you, baby. And and Amber left. I was gonna say, and Amber wants you to stay married to me forever because she would be brokenhearted if you ever left me. That's all a good joke, jolly joke. Oh, sorry, Cabbage, if I talk too much to my family there. I really don't get to see her that often. It's fun.
No, you do what you like, man. It's your choice.
Yeah, well, somebody was saying that, so I'm just searching to make sure there's absolutely no nudity right here. And I don't know. There's not hook. Oh, Amber's back. Mercy's sake.
You just hung up on me.
No, I didn't.
No,
If I did, I didn't mean it. I didn't hang up on you.
What are these
That's
tits doing
not-
here on screen?
We couldn't get hookers, but I'm glad there's boobs.
I've never seen tits before.
No, I've seen them.
We have it.
It's like being in a fucking playground. Jesus.
We had some requests from out in the audience. Here you go, folks.
God.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble. The British is probably watching with his mom right now.
Kindergarten, honestly. I swear to God. Fucking kindergarten.
No, I would say I wasn't interested in boobs in
Not even
kindergarten, but probably by
first
like
grade.
third or
This is
fourth
first
grade.
grade
So we call them
stuff,
fourth
man.
grade.
This is fucking sandbox.
I'm
This
up
is,
for
you
fourth
know,
grade.
arguing about the fucking.
Thanks for coming out to the Sandbox, Cabbage, and being a dick about it.
There's
well, you know, somebody
there are
else
some
pointed
memes
out.
that are worth watching.
Some what?
There are
There isn't
some
more important things in
there
the world.
there are
Oh,
some memes that are
booby.
sometimes.
Well, yeah, and we talked about them for about an hour and 45 minutes. Was my point, Cab. So
Speaking
I'm
of
going on to the
Peter's hybrid
Sunday
show.
show. We talked about like France and their election and stuff for a while. I listened to you drone on for about a half hour or more.
What do you mean, me drawing on about it?
Well, I'm
There
just
was
saying.
some
I mean, you're busting my balls.
participating.
I'm just telling you. There are more important things in life, but what's more important than love and beauty? You know, pretty girls and pretty boys for the girls or other people for Jeremy.
Boys to boys. Yeah, right.
Don't be a prude, mate.
I'm not a prude.
Okay, I thought you were being a dick
I
or a
like
prude.
listening.
Which one is it? Was it a dick or a prude?
No, I'm sorry. That's right. Have you stopped beating your wife? Fuck you. Don't try to
No, I
play
gave you
that
two
game.
choices. I've never beat my wife. Give me another choice at least.
No way, I don't have to, right? You only gave me two choices. Right?
Wonder Woman.
Dick or a prude. That's what I'm saying.
You're
tried to ask me that
Wonder
question.
Woman. Carter.
There you
Linda
go.
Carter.
I just played it back on you.
What was her name? Not
Thank
June
you.
Carter. Linda Carter.
Linda Carter, what's wrong with you?
You're Wonder Woman. Dun, 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 dun.
Lasso.
And everything you bring to do.
Dominatrix.
You got the big old dude coming
Whoa.
after
All right, somebody's
you.
drunk.
Wild Blue Red. No, actually, I had like 2 beers to calm the old. Drank damn too much last night, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I was
say
gonna say.
I'm
So you've had 7 beers in 24 hours. That's about par.
24 hours.
For you,
No, I slammed a few last night. I really did. I let my beard down last night on the con stream. It was good. I said that 3 times though. No, I wouldn't say I'm drunk. I'm just having fun. What's wrong with you people? It's a Sunday show, man. No, everybody's killing me. I don't listen. Beard Bearing came on the other day, and like we had a stone cold plan between the 2 of us. It was like, we're gonna have fun today. We're gonna talk about no news, no nothing. As people dribbled in, we even like mentioned it, and we were just laughing and stuff. No. The whole thing was just like the whole time was, and eventually I've got to purge myself of all that and just say,
Let's get light.
Enough news and whatnot. There are other things in life, art, music, and love, and pretty people, ugly people. I mean, we did the tranny thing. That was funny. I thought, did you not like that, Cabbage? Was that bad, the tranny thing?
Yeah, it's kind of indifferent, really. I mean, it's just something that's there, isn't it?
Almost ready to pick it back up and end the show with that, because we only went through about and Amber's here now. We only went through, how many of them did we go through? We only went through about maybe 6 or 7 of them. I can look. I don't even care. I'm going to split though. And Amber, if you want to hang out later, and I'll call you or something. The show's over. Cabbage won't be there then. No one.
that is a treat indeed.
Being a little bit.
Yeah. I'm glad Cabby's here. He's always busting my butt really hard, more than anybody else.
Somebody
probably anybody I've met in like 5 years.
It's a hell of a job to do, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, it suits your way, and I don't mind it. I see I've got to go through these real quick, so I'm not even kidding. I'm going to do this with Amber. Do you want to play, Amber? Do you want to play Spot the Tranny? Amber's not here.
It's time for Spot the Tranny with your host, the Ogre, and his sidekick, Cabbage.
Oh, man, sidekick Cabbage. I don't know if Cabbage likes that. He probably don't like that.
I don't mind that.
Sidekick. Cabbage is the boss here, man. I'm getting there. I'm on 5. What were we up to, 6? I can see him I'm looking at
8. You were at 8.
No, we weren't at 8.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
That was 7.
We were like 7.
We did 8. I'll even screen share it. We did 8. It's the girl that looks like.
How many you got right, you mean?
Hey, Ogre. Monsieur Britisher is in the chat, and he was questioning the conversation concerning the French elections.
Yes, the integrity of your conversation, which is the title,
All right, Dad's here.
Hey, that's a pretty dude.
Everybody put the beer up and whatnot. Dad's home. All right, carry on, mates. Carry on. I don't even care. I'm going to be here for.
I want to hear from Aurelian. I'm really interested.
What is everyone's final thoughts on the debacle that was the French election? Where are their torn ballots given out? I've actually got like 15 or 20 news stories even pulled up over here. No kidding. So I mean, we could look at those. Check this out. So what about this? These dirty tricks. Check this out, Frenchie. Jeremy.
Okay.
So it's like it's saying right here, with it. Reports are emerging of torn and therefore invalid Le Pen ballot papers being received by voters ahead of tomorrow's all-important French presidential election. In each case, the ballots of rival candidates, Macron, they were intact. So they're saying that these are being torn for Le Pen, and once they're torn, they're no good.
Yeah, that's a major dick move from the people who were in charge of shipping them over to the voting office, because it forced them to wait on a secondary batch. And it ironically, that's also the major dickish, that's adding insult to injury. We are talking about very tiny voting office with very tiny populations that are voters who generally are done voting by 5 p.m. So now they had to wait for a secondary batch to be sent over to them. So the voting office would close at 7 p.m. rather than 5 p.m. So double.
So these are people who are basic, and they're usually directed at swing voters, right?
Going
to be swing voters. You know, the ones who are actually going to, you know, potentially tip the balance. That's how they make it difficult, right?
What do you mean?
You don't know what a swing voter is. A swing voter is, you know, somebody who, if you're, you know, if the politics is in balance, the swing voter is the one, you know, the one that makes the difference, right? Swings it in that direction. Right?
Okay, yeah, but
so
no,
they're trying to avoid the swing voter because if you fail to provide it, so it's voting manipulation fundamentally.
No, it's probably more like the guys who are in charge of shipping it were probably people with, you know, people directly feeling directly threatened by Le Pen, who lashed out their anger on those ballots. And it's double stupid because first they will have to do the job all over again, and this time deliver a clean one. So they're stupid because they put the onus on themselves all over again. So that's stupid for this reason.
Are you saying that the people who delivered the ballots were so upset they didn't even know who the ballots were going to have? You know, who's going to tick what on the ballot sheet? It's only a ballot sheet, right? They didn't know who was going to vote on it.
Yeah.
The point is, right, that the ballot sheets,
mm-hmm.
the ones that have been identified, have been corrupted. That's the reason they claim they can't count them. The same ballot sheets as would have gone anywhere. You're telling me the delivery men had some kind of hissy fit on the ballot forms because they thought something was going to happen? I mean, I don't get that. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, there are people in charge of printing them, and then there are people in charge of delivering them.
Yeah, but you still got people who are going to tick the box. They only delivered them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
but they're delivering them to certain districts, and certain ones were corrupted because in those districts, the people were more likely to vote for Le Pen than they were for Macron. So therefore, they were, you know, that would make sense. But the idea that just some random delivery guy had a hissy fit because he thought someone might have, you know, vote for
that's the thing.
Doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing. On top of that, that's the thing that is actually stupid, is that in the places where it happened, when they have been counted, they didn't even vote for Le Pen to begin with. So again, like, we have had some news on those ballots that have been torn apart already, and actually the people who tore them apart actually got caught. So. And again, it's delivery people lashing out. That's what I'm telling you. And on top of that, sad for them is that it's a place that is that's no. Let's seriously. Sadly for them, they have been targeting people that wouldn't have voted in the first place. Actually, the place was it's. Again, this thing is just dick move. It's just a complete dick move, and we don't like it. And thankfully, our electoral commission got on that very quickly. Actually, that's even them that leaked the fucking thing in the first place. Like, you don't seem to understand. You don't seem to understand this, Cabbage. Like, everybody is watching over everybody during an election. Like,
no, we had the same thing. Like I said, I told you this one with the British election. Right, I told everyone when they go, take your own pen. Don't trust, you know, whatever you're given. You know, they'll put invisible ink in it or something, you know, or erasable ink or something. And what did they do? They were offering pencils for you to fill out your ballot sheet. I took a pen with me. I've got a dabber. Seriously, they did, right? That's how ridiculous it was in the referendum. I know, it's fucking mad, right? So, you know, I totally get it. I understand your, you know, but, you know, the idea that some average dude who's just dropping off a few packets, you know, is going out and actively, because he wouldn't know whether or not those people are going to be Le Pen supporters or, you know, macaroni men.
Macaroni.
Sorry. Macron. It's always seen as macaroni. I don't know why. Anyway, that's my fault.
Uh,
Never mind.
Macaroni
Hello,
with bacon
everybody.
and cheese.
And Ogre, we have a note for you from the chat, so please have a look at it.
Where?
It's on the side chat now.
It's in the link. It's a link in the chat.
It's just a note, as in copy-pasted piece of text.
Oh yeah, close your tab. Close the Gmail tab.
Yeah, don't be showing shit.
It's just saying Amber sending him a message,
Yeah, well,
and it uses his it's using his YouTube name. So
no, like, he just likes to masturbate.
Oh, did I leave that on?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm already in Hall. Let's do a couple more if y'all want. I mean, it was like, I don't know, Brisher was here, and it was like, sometimes I just want to have fun. This is fun.
this is an
You'll just want to have fun, right?
this is an attractive looking dude on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
all you stuffy political yabber gabbers, get the fuck out of here. We're gonna have some fun.
yeah, look at that. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Have my tea.
Be quiet, Michael. Be quiet, Michael Caine. Go back to the Batman movies.
So here we go. We'll start with Jeremy.
Beardy's
Boy or
over
girl?
a unicorn.
Dude.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So I said that. So one on the boy,
Dude.
and Cabbage Patch, boy or girl?
What? Which one?
The one on screen right now.
Oh, what? You mean the... Oh, hang on. The one on screen... Chances are it's going to be a dude, because usually the pretty ones... Actually, yeah, look at the neck. That's it,
Hypnagogic?
dude.
Oh, that's so much a dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a dude.
Doppelganger?
I'm with
If
Cabbage.
it's not
I
dude, she's
don't
got
call
too
this
much...
a pretty
way too
one,
much
so
testosterone.
I think that would be a woman.
Oh, it's a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. Bart Beardbarian?
Yeah, but who's sure
She's
about
got a dick.
Yeah, okay. All right. And Zero Cool.
Dude.
I'm going with dude too. So the dudes have it. And let's
Yeah,
find out real
dude.
quick here if this is in fact born. So we're saying a transsexual.
That's more of a dude.
Transsexual.
Yeah, that's more of a dude
She's got a dick.
than Caitlyn Jenner.
Well, if it's not, it's just it's a chick who looks like a dude anyway.
All right, right here. She looks like a famous actress. So we started with Jeremy that time. So Cabbage, boy or girl?
Oh, tough one. See, now we're getting marginal. No, I think that's a real tough one.
It's tough to go
'Cause
first.
the age, you know what I mean? The age.
Boy or girl? 5 seconds.
Okay. What the fuck is this countdown? Okay, well, I'm gonna say dude.
Okay, boy. So we're going to Hypnagogic Monk.
I'm gonna say dude.
Boy. A doppelganger.
Trans.
Beardbarian.
She's a chick.
It's a chick. Zero Cool.
That looks like a man, baby.
Okay, I'm going to go with chick.
Give man, baby.
It's hard for me, but I think. So we're going to go transsexual was the consensus. Transsexual. That does
The
put
Adam's
us
apple.
two.
You got the Adam's apple. That's what I was looking for.
But that also
See?
puts us 2-0. So that's
Yeah.
good. We lost.
Yeah,
last
well,
time.
no, you're down, mate, because you're not getting
Going
them
for
right.
redemption.
You
Oh,
fuck
well,
anything.
yeah,
you
Cabbage.
piece
I don't know
of
if you were here for the
shit.
first one. We're making a consensus by the panel, so it don't matter what you vote if you don't. So in other words, if you vote one way but everybody else votes the other, you take the win with everybody. But if you if you vote one way and they all take the other, you lose it. You take the loss with everybody. So this is, and if you want to keep track of who votes what, go ahead. I haven't done that.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just
No, I
us
only
against
watched
the
a couple of
tranny.
them.
So here we go.
As against the tranny.
It's just us against the tranny. Yes. So I'll guess so. It's Hypnagogic Monk.
I'm gonna go with chick on this one.
Yeah, I'm going chick.
Go. Oh, hang on now, Cab. We're going to go and we're taking turns going first because you already found out that's a tough one. So now it's doppelganger.
Chick for me.
Girl. No. Beardbarian.
She's got a dick.
Boy.
If it's not a chick, I'd fuck it anyway.
Me too.
Zero Cool.
Dude looks like a lady. Yeah, that's a dude.
It's a dude. Me, I'm going to go with boy. Jeremy.
Can we consider Shania Twain a transsexual person?
Yes.
Close enough.
So it's you're saying boy or girl?
I say girl personally.
Okay, and you are the tiebreaker, Cabbage Patch.
I'm saying chick.
You're saying chick. So the group says chick. So let's find out. Banat, do look like a lady. Born no transsexual.
Oh
And
my
then it
God,
goes down
hold on,
1.
hold
Now it is 2-1.
Ooh, I still
Trannies
fuck
are
it.
pulling into contention.
I still
Here we
fuck
go.
it.
Next up.
Yeah, but the thing is that transsexual like with
That's
still
a
having
man.
Okay.
vegetables? Yeah, meat and two
And I
veg.
believe hit the
Yeah,
guy. Hang on a second, Beard Baron. I believe it's Doppelganger goes first this time. So try to disregard that. Boy or girl, Doppelganger?
Girl.
Girl.
Yeah, that's definitely
Beard
good.
Barian.
Yeah, look at the attitude. No, she's got the bitch.
She's got a dick.
She's got the bitch
Boy.
there. Only a woman could have that eyes.
All right, Cabbage, I love your opinions, but we're going to try not to influence other people's thoughts until the end of this stupid game. Zero Cool.
That is a woman.
Girl. Me,
Totally.
I'm going to say it's a girl because it looks like a runway model. Jeremy.
Born female.
Born female. Cabbage Patch starred.
Bitch there. It's got to be a bitch.
Girl. And Hypnagogic Monk.
It's a dude.
That's a dude. And now did that go all the way around? No, Mark Doppelganger.
Female. Born female.
Okay, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The girls have it. Let's take a look. Ching! We got another one. 3-1 to the Spot the Tranny team. Let's do what? Let's give them a chance to do 3 more just for fun, unless y'all are sick of it.
We're doing
When we're done with
good.
this, I'm going to give my
We're
stupid
doing
advice
good.
and leave. This is kind of fun, though.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
doing
actually,
good.
I said that I got the inspiration from Steven Crowder, but this actually came from Doppelganger a while back, and we never ended up playing it. So, boy or girl? And the last that went first was Doppelganger. Who went first last? Yeah, so it's Beard Barian.
That's definitely a woman.
Girl. Zero Cool.
The lady boy.
It's a boy?
It's a boy.
Boy.
Dude. Yeah.
Myself, I'm going to say, oh, that's a toughie. I think with the crown they're trying to fool me. I'm going to go with boy. I would think girl, but Jeremy.
No, born a dude.
Born a dude. Cabbage Patch Bastard.
Dude.
Dude.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, Hypnagogic Monk.
I just don't know anymore.
I don't care. Will somebody save me from this nightmare? It's like feels like he's a fucking captive.
It's a guy.
Dude, okay, we have boy and Mark Doppelganger.
It's a trap. It's got a funky bits.
It's a boy. You said a boy. So, and the boys have it anyway, so it wouldn't have
got jewels.
Everybody down. So we're saying transsexual. Transsexual, so there's no need in doing anymore because people are saying they feel hostage. And at this point, we are 3-1, so we'd have to play. We'd have to play several more games for them to even be able to tie. We are 1-1 now in this game, and I'll find some more pictures, and we'll play this from time to time.
Pretty
Probably
much
won't
bang
sit
on
side.
though. We only got one wrong in that last, escapade.
Yep,
So-
this last one we got one
Yourself, I'm learning a lot about
Only
myself.
one.
Apparently, I can't go to Thailand, or I'm gonna fuck a lot of dudes.
Well, you don't have to fuck them. It's just, how you find them.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I know that's anyway. I don't really want to see because we talked about that before, Beard. It's like, what do you do if you've got the meat and veg in your hand, but all night you thought it was a chick? I mean, I'm
You already had the buffet.
not
Might
going to
as
be
well
rude
eat.
about it. I'd be like, pardon me, sir.
Kick
I
it
had
in the
no idea."
nuts. That's what you do. I bought you drinks, you fuck.
So you
If
asked
you're
for a
already
refund?
buffet, eat.
Gabby, you asked for a refund is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm right.
Some people are saying there's a point of no return.
Yeah, it's usually about like throat deep.
Oh, man.
I am not deep
Yep, it's a
throating
little
my
late
date.
then.
I'm sorry,
You're
that's
married.
never happening.
At that point, you might as well just roll with it.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's gonna be some.
On a really clean note, Here's a good one. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
Nay, 'tis the sea.
No.
That makes no sense.
I don't get that.
No, just the C.
Not R, it's the C.
You probably knew I was going to
Pirates.
say R. Somebody was.
Favorite letter, pirates, the sea, haha. You guys suck. Jeez.
Nah.
No, you just
really
can't
piss
deliver
poor.
a
That was
joke.
really poor.
man.
It's just a really bad joke.
Eat my dad jokes.
I thought it was good. My dog just threw a piece of bread back at me.
There you go. You see, that's how bad the joke was.
Good doggy. Good boy.
Oh, this
Good girl.
Even the dog rejected that. That's
She identifies as a girl.
See, it's with his dog. It was boy or girl, and I lost.
Nope, she got that done. That was just homemade bread and homemade guacamole. My old lady makes.
And Jenny does make some serious bread. I've seen it.
It's very
She
good.
makes
Healthy,
bread.
good stuff. I'm used to drinking beer, so the bread is good because it's like beer that's not put in a bottle.
It's brewed beer. It's brewed bread.
I'm gonna make some beer, but hey, look, I'm gonna get off air, folks. This has been a lot of fun. I think we wore the horse out. I'm sorry about the mix of
What do you
things,
mean? You
cabbage, and
flogged
everybody
that
else that don't
horse
like the mix
fucking
of it.
hours ago.
I can't focus on anything for longer than about an hour, and I get sick of it. So it goes for politics and everything else. It's fun to talk about, I guess, but here's more to the point. I believe it's important to talk about politics. That's why when I didn't have a whole lot to pipe in today about France and whatnot, I hope everybody noticed it. I just had myself muted and was listening because I learned a lot. And I hope that everybody learned a lot today. If it wasn't about France and about politics and the differing ideas about how the Penn Macron election turned out, then maybe you learned something about a little bit of skullduggery from the Beard Baron and myself and Zero Cool, because we're always going to bring the skullduggery. It's what we do. Does that make us lesser or better? I don't think so. I think we need a diversity of ideas and opinions and characters and people, or life will be so boring and you'll never learn a damn thing. So look, folks, be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and your cause will depart from you. Thanks a lot, Cabbage Patch Bastard, and the rest of y'all. Sydney Rev Diamond, go get your hooker some drinks and whiskey.